Okay, ding dongs. If you don't subscribe to Jeremy Ice and Fire, you're gonna spend the night in the box.
Aren't Cooey.
Remember indeed. And welcome one, welcome all to the From Season 4, Episode 9, Breakdown and Discussion Part 2. And of course, giving some of our theories and final predictions for the finale and how this very interesting season is going to come to a close. I think we have a lot of still so much to unpack just from Episode 9 in and of itself. But then who knows where this thing is going to go and where this season is going to end and how much they are going to leave for season 5. But yeah, man, here we go. Ready for the last episode, ladies and gents. Are we actually ready for the last episode of From? At least for this season? I mean, I'm ready for it, yes, but I'm also not ready for it at the exact same time. Again, it feels like the season has whipped by and it's only just now really starting to get good. But I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. Still so much to unpack from episode 9, a lot to talk about where it's going to go, and we want to hear from each and every one of you as well. And of course, I'm joined from my co-host tonight. Tonight we have a stand-in co-host in the form of the famous Julie Zwig. So welcome, Julie Zwig. So glad to have you with us this evening.
Thank you so much. It's me. It's the wig. You have all been asking for me, and I'm here. It's me, like the boy in white. It's me, the wig.
It's me, the wig. But yeah, I think this is going to be interesting. Episode 9 left us at a very kind of cliffhangery spot with Jade and Tabitha still down in the chamber. But I'm really much more looking forward to seeing where is the wig going to come into place. You know, Julie had a very interesting story arc towards the beginning of season 4 with her story walking and experimenting with it, which she's kind of given up a little bit on. So I'm hoping we're going to see her get back in the game because this show is just not the same without the wig. We saw so many comments coming in over the last 2 or 3 episodes of people just very much noticing just the blatant absence of the wig in these last 3 episodes, as we didn't really have any Julie scenes. So hopefully the wig is going to come back in a big way in the finale.
Yeah, I mean, for the wig, the wig, I want more time, in the spotlight, but it seems like Sophia has kind of taken over the show. So that's where a lot of the airtime went. But hopefully the wig will be a huge part of next season. Now, I'm getting high. Okay, that's what I'm doing. So I am kind of busy. I'm glad that somebody else
Wig,
is
yeah.
taking on all of the spotlight and the time in the show because I'm really busy right now. I'm getting high. I'm, being confrontational.
Doubting Tabitha at every turn, doubting everything.
Fighting with my mom.
Yeah. The wig's got a lot on the wig's plate. The wig does have a lot to deal with right now. And I love how the wig refers to itself in the third person. I feel like it's so fitting for someone for the stature of the wig. But yeah, I mean, I do want to see Julie kind of get back into the story. Hers was probably my second favorite storyline, actually, towards the beginning of season 4, with her and Randall kind of experimenting with the story walking. So I do want to see her get back into the game, and I imagine she will. This is the finale, the last episode of season 4. And then it is the long wait for season 5. And how long do we have to wait for season 5? That is the question. I really hope, since it is starting to get warm right now, that they're going to start filming pretty soon. Because the thing about From, they need to film during the summer. We saw what happened to them when they tried to film during winter. It was incredibly difficult, to the point where they even had to write some of the snow into the show. So it seems like they don't want to ever film during winter again, just based on some of the comments they've made since then, just how hellish it was to complete season 3 during winter, because they film all the way up in Canada and Nova Scotia. So during winter it's freezing up there. So hopefully they can start filming at some point during this summer, and if that is the case, we will probably get the final season in 2027. I have to imagine we probably won't have to wait all the way till 2028. But then again, that's if they can start filming this summer. We could be looking at a mid 2027 to end of 2027 for season 5.
Mhm. Well, I can't film in high humidity. I
No.
don't, my wig is the wig is sleek, right? Sleek. I don't want it to get huge, so I can't film. My hair frizzes up. It has to be, in good weather because it's all about the wig.
Yeah. All about the wig. I mean, if there's any wig though that could survive the rigors of humidity, it's this fucking wig right here. But let us know what you guys are thinking as well. What are you looking forward to for this final episode? What were your thoughts on episode 9? What were your favorite scenes, your least favorite scenes? We want to hear from you guys. Please get to seizuring wig. Yeah, again, Julie is, and that was one thing that I did at least enjoy in episode 9. When we saw Julie talking a little bit about her story walking, she talks about seeing the man in yellow, and how, she thought that she really had this kind of destiny, this ability to change things, this way to kind of go back in time and save Jim, save Thomas, save the whole story, just be the hero. And we saw how much of a hit Julie's self-esteem and confidence took when the bookmark thing failed, and the kind of fallout with Randall subsequently after that. But here we're seeing that she really has, she's at like kind of that funny, cynical kind of stage, I guess you could see,
Mhm.
where as soon as, like, she's just not buying anything Tabitha's saying. As soon as Tabitha kind of says anything, she just runs into the back, grabs the fucking talisman. She's like, okay, tell me what this is then. Like, you can tell she's very much in that cynical kind of mode right now, where she's just not really believing anything that this place is offering them, anything real, anything that could offer them hope. So I do want to see her kind of get a little bit into, the groove again. But it was at least nice to see her recognize some of the self-awareness that this story walking was taking a toll on her. Yes, I do think it's going to play some kind of role in the overall narrative. I mean, you don't give a character like Julie this ability of story walking if it's not going to play a pretty significant part in the ending of the story. So she probably will. But I love how she's at least finally getting to the point where she's becoming self-aware that every time she does this, she's giving herself seizures. And every time she does this, she is risking herself more and more and more, which again goes a lot into what we were looking forward to this season when it came to the cost of things, the price that people have to pay for things that they're going to have to do, for knowledge they're going to have to acquire. Again, knowledge comes at a cost was the whole tagline of the season. So I like that Julie is finally becoming self-aware at the cost that she's going to have to pay if she continues story walking with these seizures, and what that could also lead to.
Yeah, the wig, need to be empowered and have courage.
Mhm.
Ethan really does have the answer. And this is the thing. When Ethan was telling us all of these details, part of me just thought he's a kid. What does he know? Right. So I didn't pay as much attention to Ethan as I should have. But he did tell us it's going to get really scary. You're going to have a lot of courage. And it is that courage that's going to push you forward. I think that all of these lines, what I'm seeing is that everybody's storyline is kind of converging towards the end
Yes, there.
and
Yes.
focused on Ethan. Ethan has become the source of hope. Victor suddenly has courage. He's never, not once, has he volunteered to not only give us information, but to talk about the time when he was alone. It's something we have been asking for a long time. How did he survive? How did he make it? What did he eat? He finally gave us all of that information, and
Yeah.
it was volunteered. Nobody had to pressure him to say anything. He did it for Ethan.
Yeah.
Now, Tabby's also on her own journey and has decided that because she doesn't want Ethan to have the same fate as Victor, that she's finally going to get in the game. And I
Mhm.
think for Julie, once Julie sees that things are getting really serious, that they're going to die potentially either way, she might be willing to use her story walking ability
Yes.
again. Because
Yes.
what's the point, right? You're going to die either way. I did
Exactly.
think I did think that this scene was hilarious. Watching it back,
Mhm.
she's being super rude to mom, right?
Oh yeah.
And she's like, "So who's he gonna kill next, mom?" She's sitting there next to Ethan, who's terrified. And she says, instead of saying me, you, no, she goes, Ethan, and then looks at him. And Ethan's face is just like, what? Me? She's like, who's he gonna kill? Ethan right in front of him, telling him he's about to get slaughtered. So of course,
Yeah.
yeah, he's terrified. That was hilarious. But also Tabitha, she's like, I saw the man in yellow. I saw him eating people. And Tabitha's like, what? And
What?
she just like moves on.
They move, and that was my big problem with it as well. Like they moved right past it. Julie says, "I saw the man in yellow. I saw him eating someone once. I thought I can change things," and they go right into the whole kind of, "I was just giving myself seizures." And not once does Tabitha say, "Wait a minute, slow down a little bit. What did you just say? You saw the man in yellow? When? Where? How? What exactly is going on? How did you have this encounter?" So again, it kind of goes back to what the boy in white kind of said. You're asking the wrong questions, Tabitha. Continuously asking the wrong questions.
I mean,
But yeah,
asking the wrong questions. Julie's giving attitude. She said that like, "Leave me alone, mom.
yeah,
I hate you,
yeah.
mom." Right?
Mhm.
I mean, it's not the best place. It's not the
No,
best place from Bill to all of a sudden become a rebellious teenager, but it's understandable. It's
yeah,
totally understandable.
yeah,
She has kind of kept her emotions to herself. I mean, if you see Ethan, Julie, and Tabitha, they don't really cry for Jim. We're not seeing them fall apart. Yes,
the
they
more,
have sad moments here and there, but
yeah,
Julie, she's getting high. Ethan is kind of going on these adventures, trying to learn more about how to survive, but you don't really see them like locked in the room crying.
mhm,
So I
yeah,
think it's the grief. This is
yeah,
the way that she's kind of handling losing her
yeah.
father.
And I think that makes sense. When it comes to children and even young teenagers, when it comes to processing grief, when it comes to processing loss, you don't have a ton of experience with it yet, so it's tough to kind of process that. Sometimes it comes through in different ways. So yeah, maybe that is what we're seeing. This is just their way of mourning, and that's why part of me wouldn't be surprised if Ethan seeing Jim was also that. Because I also noticed it seems like even Ethan is, I don't know if he's given up on finding the Lake of Tears, but it seems like now he was more focused on learning how to survive from Victor. So I guess it'll be interesting to see if Ethan circles back around to the Lake of Tears storyline in the final episode, and if he continues to try and pursue that. But yeah, you can definitely see that they're mourning, they're grieving, but it's coming out in very different ways, for both of them, for Ethan and Julie. And yeah, Julie, it's the rebellious teenager phase. Um, we got a 9.99 from West of Westeros. Thank you so much, West of Westeros. Very much appreciated, my friend. Hello, Hot Tea Papa. How dare HBO make episode 1 come off better than 8 episodes of From? Sorry, I know this will be bad. Well, I mean, no, everybody is completely entitled to their own opinion, and that's one thing we will always back up here on this channel. Whether you love the show, whether you're not liking the show, everybody's welcome to their opinion, as long as we're being respectful when we're criticizing it, which we always do. But no, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're enjoying House of the Dragon more than you're enjoying From, nothing wrong with that at all. West of Westeros, I'm glad you're enjoying it. And thank you so much, my friend, for the $9.99. I very, very much appreciate that. And I owe you a whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Thank you, my friend. And we have one more from West of Westeros. Thank you so much. PM Jeremy, you read for the end of you ready for the end of the season. What do you hope to see as an ending for the season? Now, for me, if there's one answer I can get, one reveal we can get, it's I want to see a glimpse of the original sacrifice of the original parents. What really happened back there? We've heard, some details, some information about this quote unquote deal that was brought to them. But I want to see what really happened back there. If we can get one thing in the season 5 finale, for me, it would be to get a flashback to that time period, not just hearing about it through a character or exposition or it getting told to them from the man in yellow or someone. I want to actually see it with my own eyes. So if I could have one thing in the season 5, in the season 4 finale, it would be a flashback to that time period.
That's a good one. I want to see that too. Thank you so much, West of Westeros. I'm thinking, Sophia, the men in yellow. We mainly see Sophia do it, but I mean it's the same as the men in yellow. They are reciting incantations. We have a little bit more information, and she told us this place is built on ritual. When you are carrying out a ritual, there is forces that you are invoking. So what I want to see is what's beyond that. I want to see if you did make some sort of a ritual to bring from forward, who did you recite this ritual or dedicate the ritual to, the sacrifice? What deity, right? I'm thinking that it's some sort of like hermetism where it's not so much one singular deity as it is the cosmos themselves,
Mm,
literally the universe itself.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I want to know more information as to who is granting her all of these things, right? She's doing
Mhm.
the ritual, she's doing it in the correct way, apparently, because she's getting what she wants. But who is granting her these powers? And like I said, I have my theory of it being like some sort of hermetism where it's not a deity, but it is the cosmos themselves, which brings science and magic together. But I wanna know. And also the red entity. I'm still waiting to see who
Ooh,
is the red
yeah,
entity,
the
which,
red
by the
symbol.
way, the preview kind of, I don't know, it looked like tentacles. Maybe that's the red entity.
It could be. Yeah, the red lightning. Yeah, no, and I like that, and I like your answer as well. And that is definitely something that I would love to see in the season 4 finale, or at the very least at some point on the show. Some of these kind of reveals. Again, I know we're not going to get everything in the season 4 finale, but I get the feeling we're going to get at least something pretty big. We usually always do. But yeah, thank you so much, West of Westeros, for the 9.99, and let us know in the chat what you guys think as well. Same question to you guys: if you could have one thing answered, if you could have anything you want in the season 4 finale, what's the one thing you guys want to see in this last episode? Let us know. Um, let's see what else we got. We got Justin Pearson for a 3696. Jeremy, why the heck did they have Fatima build a staying golem for 7 episodes for her just to potentially turn into a monster? Yeah, again, I think the golem storyline up until this point, it just seems like it was meant to be more of a conduit for her to kind of channel for a source of kind of strength for Fatima. I never was wondering if this thing was going to come to life. I had a feeling at first maybe it would after seeing these whole kind of living dolls earlier in the season. But the more we got into the season and the more she just kind of kept carving it and kind of seemed to be drawing off of it, that's when I started to lean a little bit more into the side of, okay, I don't think this thing's going to come to life at all. I think it's simply just meant to be a symbol, some kind of, battery source, a way for her to channel this kind of connection that she has to Smiley to use it. Because a lot of people were pointing out that the night that she saved Kenny, she was carving the golem, and some people think that she might have been channeling the golem. And I think that is a possibility. It's definitely possible that this thing is some kind of just symbol of strength for Fatima to draw on potentially, not necessarily an actual champion that's going to come to life.
Yeah, I think that it was a three-dimensional metaphor for what's
Mhm.
about to happen to Fatima. She
Okay.
built this thing, and so we saw it come to fruition. We saw her building it, but it was really a metaphor for maybe her storyline because we
Uh-huh.
know that the idea, her and Mariel are in cahoots. They have the same idea of, hey, this is happening anyway, because she
Why
tells
not
Ellis,
use it?
what
Yeah.
you are fearing might already be happening, but I could use this. I could save somebody, right? And
Yeah.
Mariel emphasizes that to her. But
Yeah.
that's what the golem was supposed to do. The golem of Prague was supposed to help and assist these people.
Exactly.
And then it becomes too powerful for its own good, and they have to put it down.
Hmm.
And that's what I think is going to happen. If they confuse, because I don't think she's turning into a monster. That just, I
Yeah.
think it's the blood that is kind of making her worst nightmare come true, or for her to think that her worst nightmare is coming true. Sophia's blood, I think, is giving her the idea that she really is turning into a monster. I don't think that she is. I don't think she would have turned into a monster had the blood not been in her system.
Hmm.
But if she believes that she has, she might ask them to kill her or something, to put her down.
Oh
Of
yeah. I could totally see that. I mean, like if Fatima gets to the point where she genuinely thinks she's going to become a monster, I could totally see that. Where her definitely wanting to rather die than become one of those things. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Fatima, when it comes to her, I know, we see the veins right away, and we instantly think, okay, she's turning into a monster or something of the sort. The Komodo creature potentially also has those similar veins. Could Fatima becoming the next iteration of this Komodo creature? Is she destined to become the next midwife of Fromville like the Komodo creature was? But then again, I also wonder if this is maybe just a cost that she is paying for this connection that she has to Smiley. And the thing that was interesting about Sophia giving Fatima her blood, the interesting dialogue that she chose to use was, "I'm playing a lot of games right now, but one or two need to be sped up." So when I see Sophia giving Fatima her blood, that tells me that whatever is happening to Fatima, the blood is just speeding up the process potentially, maybe.
Mm.
But I don't know. Again, what is that process? What is the end result? Is she turning into a monster? Is something else happening to her? What is the end game going to be here? Because I don't know. I feel like her turning into a monster seems to be the obvious answer, but it seems to be maybe almost too obvious that's not going to happen. So I don't know. I'm not quite sure where Fatima's road is going to lead her, but it seems like the blood was potentially put into her system to speed up whatever process this is.
That's a good catch, Jeremy, actually. I didn't focus on that, but yeah, potentially this was always going to be her fate. But
Maybe.
Sophia doesn't want to wait. She wants
Yeah.
things to happen now, right? So that kind of has me worried for Boyd because right now in the town, there's a ton of people that have Sophia's blood in them or the entity in yellow.
Yeah.
If Martin was Sophia, because
Yeah.
Martin did this blood ritual with Boyd too. My blood is your
Hmm.
blood, you
Yeah.
know? So if Martin was Sophia, that means that Boyd has her blood in him. And maybe that's why he's experiencing the Parkinson's and the hallucinations of
Mhm.
Abby.
Could
Now we
Ellis,
have
after getting
Fatima.
the transfusion, Ellis got a transfusion from Boyd. Could there have been a small trace of the blood left in Boyd's body when he got the transfusion, maybe?
Yeah, potentially. We have Fatima. Who
Hmm.
else has her blood?
Henry. Henry has it as well.
Henry. Yes, that's right. So
Yeah.
we have a lot of people that are walking around this town with Sophia's blood in them. That cannot be good.
Potentially.
I'm wondering as to why she didn't put it in the water. When she got Sarah to do this thing about spitting back into the water, I was wondering, wouldn't it be just easier, Sophia, to go over to the diner? You're hanging around there anyway and put your blood in there? Anything that you do, you could do it out in the open and apparently nobody notices. So just
Mm.
put it in the water, in the drinking water.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if the Man in Yellow's goal or Sophia's goal was to ever, infect the entire town with her blood, then yeah, that would definitely be the way to go. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's going to be interesting to see what is the ultimate end game purpose here for Fatima. I mean, we see what the end game purpose seems to be for Henry, and that's to kill Victor. That's to potentially eliminate Victor off the board. But what exactly is Fatima's end game going to be here with this potential process being maybe even sped up now that she's consumed Sophia's blood? But I think this is an interesting one here from Elizabeth. That Fatima is turning into a monster, but she could become a good one, a balance. Now that's an interesting possibility. I mean, one thing we did talk about a while back, if we would ever see some kind of possibility of a good monster, and this is something that we used to talk about, a lot earlier on before we kind of got deeper into the story, more season 1 and season 2. When we didn't really know anything about the monsters at that point. But that was one thing we would discuss once in a while. Is there some kind of possibility that we will ever see some kind of monster that is good, that maybe has some kind of measure of their humanity still left inside of them that they can tap into? They're not fully gone to the kind of dark side. So no, I think that's a interesting possibility. If Fatima's turning into a monster, could she retain some of her humanity? Maybe. I don't know. She would have to have some strong will, I would think.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I like the idea. I definitely like the idea because they could use a champion. That's what
Mhm.
Fatima says about the golem.
Yeah.
It's a champion of sorts, and they could use one. They definitely could use one. However, I'm just looking at the unfairness of it all.
Mhm.
So the original monsters, they had to sacrifice their children willingly so that they could receive this bargain, this exchange. We see that Sophia makes bargains with people and they kind of have to agree with it, just like Clara did.
Mhm. Yeah.
If that's what happened at the beginning, Fatima didn't ever agree to this sort of bargain. She didn't agree to it. Now, I know
Mhm.
that she was pregnant. That's, your belief, my belief. She seemed to be pregnant before she got pregnant with Smiley. So
Before
you could,
Smiley died. Yeah.
yeah, you could kind of take that as an indication that maybe her baby, this fetus, was sacrificed because it was
Exactly.
taken
To
over
to
by
make way
Smiley.
for Smiley. That's kind of how I always saw it. Yeah.
But that wasn't a willing exchange. So
No.
yes, you could say, well, her child was also sacrificed, therefore she becomes a monster, but it wasn't a willing exchange and she didn't
No.
get anything as a result of that sacrifice. That's why
Yes.
I'm having trouble kind of seeing how she gets to benefit from this monsterhood, just like all the other parents. It
Uh-huh.
seems like she didn't do anything to deserve it. She didn't do anything to enter in this bargain.
Mhm.
That's what I'm confused on.
Yeah, I think the big question is, when it comes to turning humans into monsters, into nightmare creatures, is it even a process that can be replicated? I guess is the question. We need to find out how it originally happened. Is it just a very specific result of a very specific ritual and sacrifice of the Onkui children, or is there some potential way that you can turn other humans into monsters? Again, I guess that is a question that we need a little more information on. David thinks that the golem is causing her condition. That's actually causing it, and I think that could be a possibility as well. One thing that we kind of noticed is it wasn't until Fatima kind of saved Kenny that these symptoms really started to start physically showing up in her. The veins and everything, the cold feeling she felt inside of her the first time she kind of, when she saved Kenny's life. From that point on is when she really seemed to start to change. So whatever seemed to happen to her, that might have been the beginning of it. I mean, the very, very beginning of it might have been giving birth to Smiley and the connection she made to Smiley when she gave birth to him that was able to give her the knowledge that she found out about the parents. The whole reason why we found out that the parents were human and how they sacrificed their children. That all originally comes from Fatima. So no, I could see that this is a possibility that that the golem is tied into it somewhere. And I don't know about responsible. I mean, I suppose that is possible that the golem is directly responsible, but I could see it at least, if not directly, at least playing some kind of part in this happening to Fatima. Because again, a lot of people do theorize that Fatima channeled the power of the golem to save Smiley. It wasn't solely just the connection she has with him, but she kind of channeled the golem as well. So maybe if that is the case, maybe the golem had a part in Fatima's condition. Maybe I don't know. Definitely an interesting theory, though, David, that the golem itself is responsible for it. It's definitely a theory I haven't heard yet. So I like that. We have no more Mr. Nice Rye for $4.99. Thank you so much more, Mr. Nice Rye. Very much appreciate it. Love the fucking name as well. What if Fatima can put the monster energy into the golem? My blood is your blood. Now, that's an interesting concept. Whatever is happening to Fatima, yes, something new has been introduced into her body. Something foreign has been introduced into her body. Something most likely supernatural. So yeah, I mean, I suppose that's a good question. Is there some possibility that they can kind of channel it out of her and into something else? Definitely is not something I thought of, but I like the theory. Definitely like the theory.
Yes, I like it because it brings full circle that they showed us that this kind of works, right? They
My blood
showed
is
with
your blood.
Boyd
Yeah.
when he did My Blood is Your Blood, right? It brings it full circle, and maybe they showed us for a reason so that they could bring it back and remind us, yes, she potentially has Sophia's blood in her, but she can transfer that. There is the possibility of her being okay if she transfers this blood to something.
Hmm.
First, you would have to, I'm guessing, you would have to bring the golem to life so that you're transferring it into a life vessel, or
Maybe.
maybe even, maybe not necessarily, but that could be a way or a loophole for Fatima to remain Fatima if it is the
Mhm.
case that she's turning into a monster.
Mm. And in a way, it almost kind of channels or parallels a little bit what the children did, how they kind of seemingly have focused all their energy into the roots and created the trees as a result of it. Could Fatima, in a similar way, focus her energy and get this out of her into something else? My blood is your blood way. Again, I think it's an interesting theory. No more Mr. Nice Rye. I like the theory, my friend. And thank you so much for the $4.99. Very much appreciate that. I owe you a whoa. And we got one more from McLight for $2. I thought the red entity was Smiley's rebirth. That has been one of the most popular theories up until this point. A lot of people have, and I noticed it myself too as well. Like when you see Smiley getting reborn, there's one specific shot that if you pause it at just the right moment, it looks exactly like the symbol in the red cave. But I don't know. I mean, part of me has always been kind of 50-50 on that. I've never been 100% sold that that is the symbol for the rebirth of Smiley. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it is, but I feel, at this point, we don't really have definitive confirmation as to what exactly it is. But this is the most popular theory that I seem to see going around in terms of what the red entity really is, what the red symbol really is. A lot of people think it is a symbolic representation of Smiley's birth.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really hoping that it is this new thing that we see in the trailer where it looks like it's lightning, but maybe it's not lightning. Maybe it's the red entity finally coming to claim the people in the town. Who knows? But I
Mhm.
was having I know that we're maybe not talking about the trailer for people who haven't seen it, but I
Mhm.
had an idea as to Fatima and her becoming a monster.
Okay.
What if, because this is how it would make sense to me. What if the original parents were actually just 12, right? The 12 parents of the Ankui children.
Mhm.
We
And
know
this
that there's more than 12 monsters.
exactly,
So,
yeah.
what if every cycle, if you manage to kill them, you turn into a monster? And
Mhm.
so it keeps stacking up. You have 12, you kill one, then it's 13. You kill another, then it's 14.
Yeah.
So the person gives birth to this monster and then becomes a monster himself or themselves, which is why we have more than 12. So there's a cost for every single one that you kill. The cost is that you become the monster or somebody in town becomes the monster. And that is how we got more than the original 12 parents. And that
Mhm.
could explain why we see teenagers who probably were not the parents, but maybe the teenager got
Old
picked
people.
to
Yeah.
to be like Fatima, right? To
Mhm.
deliver this monster and then became a monster herself.
Yeah, no, I could totally see that being a possibility. I mean, there was one interesting theory that I always thought was kind of cool, that that a human from each cycle gets added to the monsters every single cycle. Like that, maybe there was, like you said, only 12 monsters in the beginning, but every single cycle, a new human gets turned into a monster, and that's how we have this many now. And I always thought that was kind of an interesting theory as well. But who knows? I mean, I feel like at the very least it would explain it, because we do need a definitive explanation as to why are there so many more monsters than there are parents. We need that answered definitively. So I like that, PM. I think that would be a just as good as an explanation as some of the other popular theories out there that we've been discussing, like maybe the entire town got turned into monsters. Yes, only 12 of them were actually parents. Of the actual children themselves, but the entire community, the entire village got turned into monsters along with the parents because they were all agreeing to this ritual in some way. So those are definitely the two most interesting theories, I think, that could, or at least the two most plausible theories, I think, that could explain why there's more monsters than there are parents.
Mm, I like it.
I like it. I like it. And thank you so much again, Mick Light, for the $2, my friend. Very much appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to the red symbol, who knows? Maybe it could be Smiley. Again, that does seem to be one of the most popular theories that I see out there in terms of the red symbol. But let's see what else we got. We got Dark Lake for 10. Thank you so much, Dark Lake. Very, very much appreciated, my friend. What if Ethan was the last child that should have been sacrificed, but somehow Julie story walked to when Thomas died, and was the reason why Thomas died, so Ethan could have lived? A dark theory. And PM, I got to give you some credit here as well, because this is something you talked about a while as well. In terms of when this Julie story walking ability was first introduced, I remember you talking about what if she does travel all the way back to try and save Thomas and inadvertently finds out that she's the reason why Thomas dies in the first place. And I've always loved that theory. The paradox of that kind of theory, of the consequence of time travel, the consequence, the price that Julie has to pay for trying to meddle in things like saving someone's life who has already died. So I got to at least give you that credit, because you were the first one I heard talk about that.
Oh, thank you. What made sense to me was that it was the kitchen phone. So
I
Tabitha,
love it.
it's
I love
actually
that
really
detail.
interesting.
I love that
Mhm.
detail.
What's really interesting is that when you go back to season one, we don't know anything about Thomas's death until Tabitha opens up to Julie. Of out of all the people, it's her and Julie having a conversation in the basement where she's digging that hole, and she's telling Julie exactly how it happened. So Julie and Ethan
She
didn't
knows
have information as to the details, but now she
when,
knows.
where.
Mhm. Location. So it wasn't a cell phone, and we know that they had tablets. I mean, Ethan is playing like on an iPad, so they have all of this tech stuff. But it was on the kitchen's phone number. To me, that's a child that would know their own kitchen phone number. If you want to call mom, you want to call dad from school, you have your cell phone, you want to get a hold of them, they're not answering their phone. You're probably the one that would know your house phone number. I'm thinking that it
Yeah,
kind of fits her pattern. Poor
yeah.
little Julie, the wig is always a minute too late.
Just
She's
a minute too
almost
late.
there,
I
but she's
know.
like a minute too late. And I think for Thomas, it was the same thing. She was that phone call. But if it had been like a minute earlier,
Yeah,
maybe she could have saved them.
maybe she could
She
have
could have
saved.
saved them, but she just called at the perfect time or at the imperfect time, right? She's always a minute too late.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that that's going to be the moral of her story. I hope
Yes.
that she could change things, but we just don't know. Now, I did want to talk about Ethan being the last child that should have been sacrificed.
Yes.
I
Me
I
too.
know that you're talking about like Thomas in exchange. However, when we look at the talisman, there's 8 sections. Instead of there being 7, we know that there's 7 children that were sacrificed. There's 8. So I'm trying to think about Tabitha's fate. They tell us Tabitha's fate is way worse than Jade. For her, it's worst. Jade gets slaughtered by the town. For Tabitha, is worst. We see that the entity in yellow likes making bargains. They love it. Like
Yeah.
she says it, I love playing games.
Yeah.
It likes a bargain. So I'm thinking, what if? Because they have talked about the trolley problem over and over. What if at the end of all of this, the entity in yellow always finds Tabby and tries to make a bargain? Like, give me your child, give me your son, because, I'm in need of that eighth child. If you give me your son, I have what I need. I could get out of here. From is no more. You guys can go home and I'll let you live, right? I'll let you get out of from. And I'm thinking that it's going to move on to its next project, right? If you don't, then everybody's going to be slaughtered. For a mom,
Mhm.
that's going to be a really difficult decision to give up your son. If you
Yeah.
don't, your son is going to grow up
Yeah.
here completely alone and be super traumatized. And I think that up
And
until
everybody
now,
else is going to die anyway.
exactly. But that's a decision that's very difficult for a mother to make a bargain. So I'm thinking that every single
Oh, yeah.
time that the bargain is presented to each reincarnation of Tabitha, she says no. So when that deal was presented, Victor's mom said, no, I can't sacrifice my child for you to have the necessary children. And so Victor was left alone. And now Ethan, potentially, that will be the bargain. Would you sacrifice one child, right, for the good of everybody else?
Yeah. It's the toughest, like you said, the toughest decision that a parent could ever be forced to make. My child's life for the good of, for the greater good, in a sense. How do you make that choice at the end of the day? But no, I again, in terms of the dark theory, the idea that Thomas like has to be sacrificed because Tabitha is only allowed to have one son and one daughter. I also like that interesting aspect of it as well. But yeah, I mean, again, it's one of the toughest choices a mother would ever have to make if these Tabithas were always put in some kind of position at the end of these cycles to make a devastating choice like that. And maybe that is where it's all leading to. Who knows? But I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. And thank you so much, Dark Lake, again for the $10. Very much appreciate you, my friend. And I owe you a whoa. Handing out the woes. Awesome. But yeah, I mean, again, the Man in Yellow, I'm glad that the Man in Yellow has returned a little bit. I think the Man in Yellow has been one of the more fascinating aspects of season 4. So I hope we get to see a good amount of him in the finale. But yeah, I like it. I like the idea of Julie potentially kind of going back and inadvertently causing the death of Thomas by trying to save him. I like the idea of the cause and effect, the price that one has to pay for meddling in time. So yeah, we'll see. Because again, I think even though Julie is at this point right now where she seems to have given up, I think we all know that she isn't going to just completely give up. She's going to get back on the horse. She's going to get back in the saddle. She's going to start to do the story walking again. Something will motivate her. It's really just a matter of what that something is going to be. Because we know she still has a really, at least a little bit of a long road ahead of her still, in terms of getting the scar on her face, getting to that point where she travels back to try and save Jim and sees him die for the first time. Potentially going back to the 1978 timeline and just happening to be in that freaking picture that Elgin finds in episode 9, as we see a very similar looking wig in the corner of that photo of that exposed Sophia. So yeah, I think Julie's story walking escapades have only just begun. So thank you, and then thank you so much for that, Dark Lake. Love the show. Y'all get deep into theory. I mean, we just love discussing this stuff with each and every one of you, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen ideas in the chat from you guys that inspire new ideas for me. Like I see so many good ideas from you guys in the chat every single time we do one of these streams, and that's what's so fun. That's why we always like hearing what you guys have to say as well, because you guys seem to analyze the show in a very meticulous way, like we like to as well. And that's what's fun. That's why it's fun discussing it with people that see the show like that, like we do. So yeah, thank you. I mean, very much appreciate the everyone that comes and hangs out with us for a little bit. These are always
Yeah. And talking about getting deep into theater theories,
we
sorry, I
love
can't
it.
pronounce it.
Throw on the tinfoil hat.
Not only do we love it, but let's get crazy, okay? This is when I'm going to share my theory because it's on point, it's on topic. We're talking about the children. And
I got
do
a
see that's
crazy tinfoil one for you too. Okay, go.
ooh, cool. Very cool. Okay, so we learn that Tabitha told us the talismans, those talismans have been telling a story. They're trying to tell us that the the people in the middle are Jade and Tabitha, that it's
Yes.
them who have to do it, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I'm thinking. Now, I don't know how to remove the outside of that, so just look at it this way, but
Mhm.
I'm sure you could see it. This is what I'm working on. If the talisman is telling Tabitha and Jade that they need to be the ones to rescue the bones of the children, and if it is in fact true that Tabitha is the one that carved all of the talismans are there to save you, to protect you from the
Yeah.
monsters.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm thinking Tabitha carved herself a clue for the ritual that needs to happen. Sophia
For the
tells
other
us,
Tabithas to find, you think?
"Oh yeah. Oh yeah."
Okay.
And it's like right there in our face.
Yeah.
These will protect you.
Mhm.
This is you, this is Jade, right? So I think that it's going to be difficult for them to find the specific ritual. Sophia says it doesn't matter if they have the bones. There has to be a specific ritual
Mhm.
performed in
So
a specific way.
So this suggests that the original Tabitha might have had forehand knowledge that she was going to be reincarnated throughout the years, maybe. I mean, if she was
Yes.
setting up all these things to remind her future selves, they must have known that this was going to happen to them.
I think it was a bargain.
Yeah,
I think just like Sophia likes to play bargains with the original parents of Eternal Life, maybe
maybe
she
one with
struck a
the
bargain
original Jade and
with,
Tabitha too. Yeah.
yeah, but their bargain was give me a chance to come back and beat you at your game. And we
Hmm.
know
Yeah.
Sophia tells us, I love games. Like it very enticed this entity by the prospect of a game. So I could see them saying, yeah, okay, let's play the game. You're going to reincarnate. You can try to beat me at my game. And, you know, she loves it. Sophia, the entity in yellow, they love bargains. They love games. So it's fitting. Now, if we take a look at the talisman, this is what I'm thinking. The talisman is telling us the answer as to the ritual that needs to happen.
Uh-huh.
Do believe that the original Jade and Tabitha, they didn't just have one daughter, the Ankui little girl. If there's a pattern, that pattern comes from the beginning. That means that Jade and Tabitha had a boy and a girl. Victor tells us, you always come in here, the boy lives, the girl dies. It's a pattern. I think in the beginning, the boy in white was their little boy. The Ankui girl was the little girl. She got sacrificed, and the boy in white was doomed to roam around for all eternity apart from the Ankui children because we don't see them together. Boy in white is alone. He's very
Mhm.
lonely. We see that the children, the Ankui children, they get to be together. Every
Mhm.
time you see them, they're not apart from each other. It's usually together, you know?
Always holding
But
hands too. Like not always, but a lot of the times we'll see them holding hands together. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, so that's a sort of companionship indicating they had the same sort of fate. Now, the boy in white, he has to roam around alone, just like Victor.
Yep.
That's why the boy in white was able to tell Victor specifically, this is how you survive.
Yeah.
It's the
Alone.
loneliness that gets you.
Exactly.
I think those carvings, the pictures that we see in the caves, those were not made by the monsters. Those were made by the boy in white. He also draws paintings. He also draws little stick figures. He went down there after the massacre and he wrote out the story of what had happened, right? So
I
this is
like
Mhm.
I like the idea of the boy in white, drawing the original cave paintings or the original Jade and Tabitha doing it. I just feel like the monsters doing it doesn't make as much sense. Like after they're turned into monsters, them taking the time to kind of sit there and record their story down in the caves like that. I mean, I suppose they could, but yeah, I think the boy in white or the original Jade and Tabitha just make more sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that he wrote out the story because he needed to document. He understood that if the
For
parents were going
future
to win,
future cycles. Yeah.
oh yeah, if you're going to win, then you need to document what has happened so that you have some information that could help you along the way. So if Tabitha and Jade had a little girl and a little boy, the little boy is the boy in white, that takes the eighth spot because the talisman has eight figurines that are all around in a circle. I
Mhm.
think that they have to call on the Ankui children. The Ankui children will surround Jade and Tabitha. Jade and Tabitha have to be in the middle. Boy in white has to take one of the spots because he's also a child of theirs.
Yeah.
And I think that in the talisman, it tells us even the time of day when they have to do the sacrifice. If you take a look at the talisman, there's a diamond shape in the middle. Perhaps the bones go there. And then there's a moon and a sun.
Yeah.
We know that this place, they like balance, duality. Therefore, what would be the time of day that you would see the sun and the moon? It's either going to be an eclipse provided by the town or
Mhm.
sunrise. This is what I'm thinking. It's sunrise or sunset, where you could see that the moon is coming in, but the sun is also there. I think you have to do the not the sacrifice, because there will be a sacrifice involved, but the ritual
Ritual.
has to take place during sunrise or sunset.
Okay.
Now, what poster did we get for season 4? What is the picture that we have for season 4?
Mm.
Usually we have a bottle tree. Usually it's very cool tone. The poster for season 4 is of a sunrise. You have the word from, you see the trees, and there's a sunrise in that poster. I'm thinking that that is a clue that this is when they have to do the sacrifice. And I even have an idea of where they have to do the sacrifice. But go ahead.
Mhm. No, I like it. Again, I think we're seeing that this whole thing started with a sacrifice, with a ritual. That seems to what started all of this, and we really do like the symmetry of some ritual or some kind of sacrifice being needed to end all of this. It fits the theme of the show. I feel in a lot of ways with the symmetry, with the infinity, with the symbols, the circles, and everything. I like it. I think it's an interesting interpretation of what the talisman could potentially mean. So I like it. I think you could be onto something really cool here. And we also have Dark Lake for 5 who says, is it just me or do the talisman pieces look like the golem? Could be nothing, but yeah. I mean, in terms of like the texture of it and the color of it, I mean, yeah, it does look very similar to the golem's like texture and color. But does it have anything to do with the golem? I mean, probably not. I mean, the talismans seem to be incredibly old. Thousands of years old potentially, and which we think were created by the original Tabitha and the original Jade. So I don't know if there's any kind of connection there other than them kind of having a similar texture and a similar color that look pretty similar. But they do. They do have a very similar kind of feel to them. But thank you so much for the 5. Very, very much appreciate you, my friend. And I owe you another whoa. Another whoa. Awesome stuff, guys. Awesome stuff. Yeah, I think the talismans have always been very interesting in particular, because we know that not only do they keep, the monsters out, But we do know that, yes, the talismans do have a deeper meaning to them. This is something that we have heard directly from Jeff Pickner himself, that the symbols on the talisman are a deeper puzzle that will be solved at some point. So it's not just a symbol of, of sun, of night and day and Fromville. There's a deeper answer here in these symbols on these talismans, according to the creator or the showrunner of the show himself. So yeah, I can't wait to see what that really is. And yeah, maybe you're onto something of what it is, because it seems like there is a deeper answer here.
Yeah, I mean, Tabitha told us. I wasn't ready to sign off on what Tabitha was saying because she remembers and then she's not quite sure about
Oh,
it. But
mhm.
it wasn't coming from Tabitha. These were
Yeah,
the Ankui children that were pointing
exactly,
right at her. Like, you
exactly.
made these. And then
You
Tabitha, all
made
of a
this.
sudden, she goes over to Boyd and says, the figurines in the middle of the talisman are
Yep,
me and Jade. We
yep.
have to be the ones to go there
We
by
have to be the
ourselves.
ones to go. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. She doesn't give us any more information because that is from, right? They're not going to
That
tell
is,
you everything.
yeah.
But if that has meaning, then everything has meaning.
Mhm.
There's a reason why it's set up that way. There's a reason why there is the sun and the moon. And when I remember the poster of season 4 being so different from the posters of previous seasons, I just feel like a sunrise, that is exactly when it has to happen. Now, Jeremy, do you have the picture of the church where it looks like it's illuminated, the one that Miranda made?
The painting one, I do, but I
Hmm.
don't have it on hand, I don't think.
I'll look for it.
Um, yeah,
Because that's where
actually,
I think they have to do this.
all right,
I think
actually, I can
you
pull
do?
it up. If you can look for it too, I can also pull it up. But in the meantime, I also do have this little snippet here. And since we're on the topic of the talismans, I thought this would be perfect to play while we go and pull up this picture.
That's what this is, the quest. And everyone has a part to play. Sometimes the quest can be scary. And when it gets close to the end, that's when it gets really scary.
These talisman, they would protect the houses in town. I don't know why it works, but you got one of those, you keep the doors and windows shut, they can't get in. Never tried it on a vehicle.
This is impossible.
Yeah, it is. They're coming. You put up your talisman every night, and you keep your family safe.
The only thing standing between these creatures that come from the forest are these things that they hang on the door.
Will that even work?
I don't know.
It'll work.
It's kind of a do not enter sign for the monsters.
People used to crawl into the bushes and find a place to hide. Pray that they made it through till morning.
There are 12 different talismans. They're all unique. They are made from fake stone to look like slate.
They have these like little ornate stenciling on them.
They're etched by hand. There's a certain amount of symbology on them.
The imagery is not accidental. It's a specific clue that our characters don't necessarily understand, but it is information that's valuable.
Like all religious symbols, they're keeping out the bad stuff, and they're blessing your home with goodness as opposed to the horrible stuff we imagine that could get inside.
Why they work is unclear, but why question it?
And that is an answer that will be given at the end of the series.
So how's this work?
Oh God, Jim, no, no, no!
There we go. So there you have it,
Spooky.
folks.
I found it.
I found it too. Perfect. Just straight from the creators' mouths themselves. There is a deeper answer here. There is a deeper clue here in these talismans that our characters are going to need at some point.
Yes. Now, if like they said, this is very important information that they don't understand yet, but will be handy. I think it's the
Exactly.
ritual. And Miranda, she painted the church. It looks like there's something happening where it's illuminated from the inside, and you could see the crows flying around. I believe that that's the location. It's either going to be the actual church itself or underground where Kotri used to hang out and drink. Remember? That's probably maybe where it needs to happen. Once the ritual does come into play and it's successful, I think that's when you see this, what she saw in her vision. Because in her vision, she was seeing this. I'm thinking that the crows, if they are the souls of the dead people, they also show up. Once you start the ritual, the crows will probably show up too because they want salvation. And if you are able to do the ritual correctly, they get to go home too. Not necessarily come back to life, but they get to escape from and go to whatever version of theology you believe in, heaven, hell, whatever it is. But they get to get out of here.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe that's the clue that they are trying to defeat us, I guess you could say, because it seems like there is a deeper meaning there, and these talismans are a little bit more than just protection, amulets of protection. So yeah, no, I like it. I think it's interesting, and I look forward to finding out what they really mean and what the ultimate kind of answer is going to be on there. And like you said, is it going to be something that has to do with the original sacrifice, the original ritual? And I think it probably will be. The church is the only building that looks like it came from the medieval time. It could be the original church. And that was one thing that we noticed as well. Not just the church, but there are a few other buildings in From or old, they're only in ruins now, but if you look at where the Man in Yellow kind of first transforms from the Man in Yellow into Sophia at the beginning of the season in the first episode, you'll see a very similar structure like this church, but it's all in ruins. It's just kind of the foundation at this point. And you see a few of those kind of scattered in the woods throughout Fromville, but this church is the only one that's still standing. The rest of them are all ruins. Only the church still remains. And yes, they definitely seem like these buildings date way, way further back than any of the other buildings and structures in Fromville, for sure. And yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it goes all the way back to the original timeline, the original settlers.
Yeah, I like it. But I think if she had a vision of this seems prophetic. This seems like it's
Maybe.
a really important thing. We have the crows. I don't think that the crows are a bad omen. I think
I'm
that
not
they're
sure
there. Yeah, I think that they're actually there to help you so that you could pay attention when the fallen tree is there, maybe to tell you don't pull the tree. Now, we know that Jade is going to do it. Jade wants that tree to be pulled. I was asking myself, why? Why would he do this when he saw the tree? But guess what? He didn't see the tree. He was passed out. He was,
was
high
passed out.
or
He
like
didn't see it.
on something.
He
He was
knows about
passed out and he was laying down, remember? He wasn't even sitting up to the point where he could see the tree. He
Yeah.
wasn't sitting up. So he never saw the tree. That's why he's doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's and not only did he not see the tree, he wasn't even in this plane of existence when he entered fucking Fromville with whatever he was on. So yeah, maybe that factors into why he doesn't hold the tree in as much reverence as Victor does, as the boy in white does. He just sees it as a means to an end, a means to finish his plan. And again, like we've been saying, we know if Jade pulls this freaking tree out, we know it's going to unleash freaking hell on Fromville. And it looks like that might very well be the case. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen. What is the fallout going to be? What are the consequences going to be? What are how are the bones going to be the answer? Because it definitely seems like if the bones are the answer, it's only going to be step one. Like PM was saying earlier, there's going to be some kind of ritual, some kind of sacrifice, some kind of spell that is going to need to get done with these bones, apart from just simply burying them. That is not going to be enough.
No.
But yeah, should be interesting.
And now that we looked at that picture, this is the last thing on my tinfoil journey.
Yeah.
I am losing my mind. Now that we looked at that picture of the clothes flying around, this is the poster that they gave us for season 4. In this poster, you could see a sunrise. It's either a sunrise or a sun setting. I'm thinking that is exactly the time of day that they need to perform the ritual in. And you also see the crows flying around, just like in the painting of the church.
Yeah, maybe. And yeah, me too, as well. Kiwi Skirt of House Stark. Love the name. I have always wondered, and when it comes to all of those paintings down in Miranda's basement, The light coming out of the church, that has always been one of the more fascinating ones in terms of like what is really going on there. Because just from the depiction alone, it looks like there is just this massive amount of energy, light just coming right through the windows, like some kind of energy bomb went off in that freaking place. So yeah, I can't wait to see what that might be an interpretation of. It should be fun.
But it looks like a good energy, right? I mean,
It
it's
doesn't
not
look bad.
depicted in
Yeah,
a demonic way.
yeah, absolutely. I don't think it necessarily looks like this destructive kind of force necessarily, because it's not like it's blowing up the building. It's just light coming through the windows, coming through where the crosses are even. So no, I don't necessarily think that it might be this kind of chaotic energy. It might actually be, good light, maybe.
Hmm.
But yeah, interesting stuff. Yeah, that is one of the more interesting paintings for sure. For sure. And yeah, pulling the tree was opening the door for the monsters, in my opinion. And again, we saw Donna warn them of that. Donna warned Lloyd of that exact kind of scenario that, hey, once you pop that freaking tree out, that is kind of the same thing as opening a window or opening a door. The whole thing about these talismans is they only worked inside enclosed spaces. So the space has to have an enclosure. Yes, the door can be kind of flimsy that we've seen on the show. All you have to do is literally hang a sheet, and that'll work as a wall or as a door. But it still needs to be an enclosure at the end of the day. So if you pop that tree off, yes, you're no longer in an enclosed space. So at that point, the monsters might be able to get in. But Jade seems to be convinced that the bones themselves, once they're out of the tomb, are going to protect him, might repel the monsters in some small way. And I guess we'll see if his theory's right. We shall see. But yeah, awesome stuff. I like the idea that the instructions are on the talismans, but I think they are there to help people survive to do this stuff. But I don't think they are going to do anything and just get ignored in the massacre. Yeah, again, I like the idea. I like the idea of not just the talismans, but many other aspects of From. It seems like we are seeing the original Jade and the original Tabitha leave tons of clues and tons of things for their future generations to find, to help them probably recover these memories. And that's what also makes me wonder if the original Jade and Tabitha not only knew that they were going to be reincarnated, but also knew that they weren't going to remember their previous lives, that they were going to need help remembering who they really were. Because we look at the bottle trees and all of the numbers that were put in the bottle trees, very much seems like that was the original Jade putting that in there so the future Jades would figure it out and remember the song that they needed to play. So we're seeing these little aspects, these little kind of Easter eggs, these little crumbs that the original Jade and original Tabitha left for the future versions. And that's what, again, leads me to believe that if it wasn't the monsters that maybe kind of created the cave paintings, that it was maybe either the boy in white or the original Jade and Tabitha creating, putting their original story down on paper, as it were. Writing it down on a cave wall ensures that it will survive through the centuries, instead of just putting it down on something that might get destroyed, that might not be able to pass from incarnation to incarnation. But the cave paintings are built to last. So I do wonder if it was maybe the original Jade and Tabitha leaving another clue for their future versions. Because again, we've seen that they seem to be doing that in many aspects of the show. So I like that idea. I like the idea of the original Jade and Tabitha having this kind of foregone knowledge of what was going to happen to them, that they would be coming back here over and over and over again, and that these future versions were going to need, these things to help them remember who they were.
Yeah, I like the idea. And I also think it's kind of poetic and sad in a way. They
Mhm.
know that they're going to die. They know that probably this cycle
Yes.
is, doomed.
Yeah.
And they'll try to write down or leave any little clue they can for themselves so that they could come back to it. And they have been doing that for what Jade says centuries of doing this work and trying to get ahead. And it
Yeah.
seems like from what the entity in yellow said, in this round, this is the furthest they have ever gone. So
Seems like,
I'm
yeah.
really hopeful that they're going to be able to figure it out.
I am too. I am too, and I know we've said this, in the past, but it just feels like not only are this Jade and Tabitha, getting further and are, potentially the right combination of smarts and grit that they need to figure everything out, but it's the ancillary pieces around them that I think are just as important. It just seems like this cycle might finally have the perfect collection of people that it needs to finally do it this time. And again, I think Boyd's a huge part of that. Boyd, Kenny, Julie. Sarah, all of them. I think this is just that one unique cycle that has the right mix of people that is going to be able to do this. But we shall see. We shall see. We got Cat Harlem though for $4.99. Very much appreciated, Cat Harlem. And definitely wondering this as well, because this is something we do need to still get answered. I'm betting Fatima's current status will help her figure out / remember the ritual she saw when Smiley was born. And yes, that is something that they definitely, I'm hoping that they will definitely reveal in this last episode. At least I hope they don't carry that over into the final season, because I thought that was very interesting. I think a lot of us as an audience are kind of, at least the biggest theory that I see going around is that it was probably the man in yellow that brought this deal to the original parents. But I always wondered if there is a possibility, ever so slight, that there is something else, that it maybe was a different kind of being that offered this deal to the parents. Because I always wondered, why have Fatima not remember this? I mean, if it was the man in yellow, why not just reveal that? Unless there is a deeper reveal that is going to be there, unless, why give Fatima this storyline of not remembering who presented that deal, unless there is some twist that might be coming that maybe it wasn't really the man in yellow. So I would love to get that in the finale as well. Find out definitively who brought the parents this deal. Again, I think the betting money or the safe money is on the man in yellow. But again, there's always that slight possibility that maybe there's a twist coming.
Yeah. Cat Harlem, I like that you remember that because I totally forgot about that. So Fatima, she was told, she was in that colony house meeting where Boyd was telling them, hey, there's this man in yellow and he's bad news. If she remembered or had any inkling as to this being the same person that made the deal, it would have triggered something, but it didn't. So it could be either way. It could be that it just didn't trigger the memory, but if she fully converts into a monster, she has the memories of the monsters because that's how she got them in the first place. So maybe knowledge comes with a cost. That's what it reminds me of, Cat Harlem. If she wants the knowledge as to who actually made the deal, the cost is her life. And is she going to be willing to do that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a possibility. And now if there is, again, my money is still kind of a little bit on the man in yellow, probably bringing them the deal. I feel like sometimes the simplest answer is the right one sometimes. But if not, that also makes me wonder, okay, then where did the man in yellow come from? Who is the man in yellow? And we talked a little bit about this in some of our previous videos and previous streams about some of our more tinfoil out there theories. And one of them was one of the origins for the man in yellow, about the man in yellow potentially actually being a nightmare that was manifested in this place. A nightmare from someone that died long ago in Fromville. Maybe even the nightmare of the original Tabitha. Because I always thought that was a very interesting piece of dialogue when the man in yellow walks up to Tabitha and says, oh, you don't remember me yet, do you? But also says, you're the closest thing to a friend I've ever had. And then MGM went and posted something that made me wonder this theory even a little bit more. I saw this going around from the official MGM account, and it just made me wonder, like, okay, what are they telling us here? Or is this just a random post? Here we see that scene that we're just discussing with the caption, no one is ever ready to come face to face with their nightmare. And I don't know, again, the tinfoil in me just started going a little bit more about the whole, is the man in yellow potentially the nightmare of the original Tabitha? Again, I don't think so. I think that's more of just very tinfoily out there theory, but I thought it was a fun one. The idea of the man in yellow coming from the original Tabitha being her nightmare, I just thought that would be an interesting twist that I certainly wouldn't have seen coming. But the idea of nightmares manifesting in this place, the idea that the show confirmed that so late in the game, tells me that there's going to be something else there. We're going to find out that there's something else that is some kind of nightmare that has been manifested. Otherwise, why kind of bring that storyline into the forefront so much towards the end? Unless you just want to give an answer and just wrap that up, which they could have just been doing. But again, definitely more on the tinfoil side. I do tend to lean a little bit more towards the Man in Yellow being the entity that brought the deal to the parents. But I thought this was interesting, if nothing else. A fun little rabbit hole.
That's really interesting.
And
That's
maybe was that
crazy.
why Sophia is so afraid of these totems.
Oh my God. She was afraid. We never see her
What?
afraid. Oh
She
my
was
God,
scared.
Jeremy, you're blowing my mind. Wait a minute. Because if he's a nightmare, then he's not the one that originally brought the deal, but he keeps talking about bargains. He literally
Exactly.
used the same word with Clara. He didn't
And
say a deal, he said bargain.
Yeah. Mhm. But I mean, and that's why I do lean a little bit more towards the Man in Yellow just being the one who brought the parents this deal. But again, I always thought it's an interesting theory, if nothing else. And maybe it could be a reason as to why the writers are having Fatima not reveal who brought this deal to the parents, because we're going to find out that it maybe was something else. My tinfoil wig is failing. And I think maybe that could be the ultimate twist of all. Maybe we're going to find out that it was the fucking wig that brought this deal to the parents in the first place. Maybe the wig is the original entity.
That's why it's so big. That wig
Yeah.
is full of sacrifices. That's how it gets its volume. It's the wig. Who knew that we were going to go full on tinfoil tonight, Jeremy? But I like it.
Hey, it's
Now,
fun sometimes.
no, it's super fun. This is so weird that they would post this. Can you remind me? And if you don't know, I know somebody in the chat is going to know. I know that the creators of From confirmed a couple of theories were certainly not it. Like outright said, no, that is not the theory. That is incorrect. Was Nightmare or Dream one of those that they confirmed was not correct?
Yes. Yeah, they
Which one?
confirmed that it's not a dream. They're not in a dream. They're not dead. They're not in purgatory.
They never confirmed Nightmare, though. They said they're not in a dream, so they could still get away with saying, well, we said it's not a dream,
Oh,
it's
I
a
don't know.
nightmare. It's a nightmare, you know?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on how literal were they speaking when they said, no, it's not a dream. Was Nightmare and Coma kind of all included in that? Or were they being very specific in their wording, I guess is the question.
They're very specific. They're very specific. I mean, the dialogue usually is on point. They're very specific. But the whole, like, nobody's ready to come face to face with their nightmare. I have an idea, because we're going tinfoil, right? We're going crazy. So let's get crazy. Let's get wild. Let's let our tinfoil wig fly. Okay. If the Man in Yellow is nothing but Tabitha's nightmare, and that's why he was like, hey, you don't remember me yet? If he is just
a friend I've ever had.
Yeah, if he is just her nightmare, what if, let's do an M. Night Shyamalan twist. What if the person that made the bargain was Colonial Spooky Lady, who is Tabitha?
Yeah,
Tabitha is the person.
made the bargain.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
What if the original Tabitha was some sort of witch? She made the bargain with the parents. They were going through some sort of famine. You know, these are early civilization time where they're trying to colonize. So they were going through some sort of issue. She's a witch. And Tabitha made the bargain and said, if we do this, we could live eternally. We wouldn't have to worry about anything. And then she changed her mind. And once she changed her mind, she couldn't back out of the deal because now everybody was counting on her going through with this. And she's the one to blame, but also she left herself clues and a loophole so that she could fix what she did. That's wild. That's crazy. That's tinfoil. And probably not true, but I'm saying if
Hey,
we're
but
gonna blame somebody, Tabitha's a good one to blame because she's
why not
acting
blame her?
very suspicious.
Yeah, why not blame Tabby? And again, I think we are, we are wondering if there is going to be some kind of secret, some kind of thing that the original Tabitha are guilty of, something that they're very guilty of that hasn't been uncovered yet. Yes, it seems like they tried to save the children, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was something that came right at the very end. Like they had a last minute change of heart and tried to save the children because they couldn't go through with it. But maybe at the beginning they were not only in on it, but yeah, maybe they were the ringleaders of it. I think there's a deeper hidden truth there that will be uncovered about something dark about the original Jade and Tabitha. But no, I like it. Interesting. It's always fun to throw on some tinfoil, right? Nothing wrong with some fun theories every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lee is questioning why we blame Tabitha and not as much Jade. And there's reasoning behind this, okay? There is science to the madness, Lee. The reason why Jade is not getting blamed for actually being the one that struck the bargain is because Jade has been willing to remember difficult
He's not
things.
running from it. Yeah.
He's not running for it. He's willing to remember the deep, dark, the obscure. In fact, we see little boy in blue, his inner child, come forward and show him all of the past versions of himself. Tabitha hasn't seen that. Tabitha hasn't been willing to explore the past. Tabitha seems relentless with her no, 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 right? And it makes me think that perhaps it's because she doesn't want to face what she already knows, which is that she is to blame. Because she is not willing to help even her children. And we see the way that she acts towards her children. It's not bad writing. I do not think that it is writing that is not making sense when her child says, "Hey, I've been giving myself seizures," and she's like, "Oh, what?"
No, I
Like,
think Tabitha was, crafted that
I
way deliberately. Yeah.
yeah, I think that her character has been crafted in a way where it is cold
Yeah.
because Jim says, Tabitha, you always cut and run. This is what you do, right? And so it has been crafted in a way where you could tell that there is something to Tabitha that refuses to acknowledge responsibility for anything that is going on with her children. And maybe that comes from the original soul.
Yes,
She did
exactly.
something. That's what
Exactly.
I'm thinking.
No, and that's what I'm thinking too as well. And I feel like that's why it's just something very deep inside of her subconscious. She doesn't exactly know why, but she has this natural instinct to run away and deny everything when she's first presented with it. And that does speak to a little bit of maybe repressed guilt that is beneath the surface there a little bit. Whereas when we see Jade, he's running towards it. He's trying to figure this out from the very beginning. So I do that. That's what made, at least that what makes us wonder if it's maybe a little more Tabitha that's guilty rather than Jade. But it could be both of them. It definitely could be both of them, or maybe it could be Jade as well. That's also a possibility. But just looking at some of the things we're seeing, that's our explanation as to why we think Tabby. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, it seems like at least we're not the only ones. It seems like, I always knew original Jade and Tabitha were dirty. Xavier says, PM, I've been saying Tabitha or her mother are witches and her mother, undead colonial woman, made the original deal and Tabitha sweetened the deal as she got older and had her own kids. And again, I would love to see if that is maybe the case with this whole colonial woman creature that we haven't seen yet on the show. We got the casting announcement for it during the filming of season 4 that they were casting for this new role, this new monster character, this new creature character, this colonial woman. But yeah, haven't seen her on the show yet. Maybe we'll see her in the finale. I hope we'll see her in the finale. If not, that means they're saving that character for season 5. Or that character got left on the cutting room floor. And if that's the case, that means the character was never that important to begin with. If you can cut a character out completely in the editing phase, it means the character wasn't super important to the overall narrative. But if they're saving that character for season 5, maybe it means the character is very important. Or who knows, maybe we'll get it in the finale.
Oh my gosh, I love that idea. I love that idea. See, I knew that if we put our minds together, we could figure this out.
Chat
So
knows
that
all.
sounds, the chat knows all hell the chat. So if Jeremy has the piece of the puzzle that says that the men in yellow has just been a distraction for us, right? An M. Night Shyamalan twist. He's just distracting us. He's not the real big bad. And Tabitha was a witch. You have added the idea that perhaps Colonial Woman, who is described, by the way, as quietly imposing. Somebody that's quietly imposing is somebody you don't mess with, somebody that kind of controls everybody around her, and just her presence is imposing on you. Just her presence, just her being there is intimidating. So if that was Tabitha's mother, let's say that they were witches, and Tabitha's mother is willing to sacrifice the children of the townspeople and of her own daughter, the own little girl, her granddaughter, and Tabitha's a witch, it is possible that it was the mom that made the deal, and Tabitha, having knowledge of witchcraft, started right away working on talismans. She started putting all of her witchcraft knowledge to combat what her mom was doing. Maybe she did this secretly. So she started carving talismans. She started thinking of ways that she could save the children. That's why she was assigned the role of taking care of the kids, right? Because it sounded like they were like security guards for the children, her and Jade. They used to sing them lullabies.
Yeah, like
you don't give that role to somebody that you don't trust.
Yeah, like they spent the most time with them potentially, maybe in the cages.
Why would they spend the most time? Unless it was a close family connection. So if the mom is doing this thing and she trusts Tabitha, because Tabitha is also a witch and that's one of her children, and she seems to be going with the flow, then it makes sense that Tabitha would secretly be telling them, I'm going to save you. I'm working on something.
Giving them the hope that they needed to pour into the roots later on.
Exactly. And she has some knowledge, because if they're both witches, then she has some knowledge of what her mother is doing. She starts carving the talisman. She starts working on this. And for whatever reason, can't complete the salvation. But she gives herself a loophole. She gives herself a loophole. That's why the bottle trees are like witches' trees. And that's why so many people have been seeing imagery of witches. And now we have incantation. I mean, you just can't deny it says incantation. That's what it's
magic.
It's witches.
Magic. It's definitely magic.
It's witches up in here.
Yeah.
So since it's witches up in here, I like it. I feel like if we put all those three things together, guys, the potential is that that's why Tabitha is a little upset, because she's kind of at fault, not really, kind of at fault, but it would make sense as to why she's able to craft a talisman. A talisman is powerful. You need to use some sort of incantation for it to work. If she's doing this, that means she had knowledge of some sort of magic too.
Yeah, and that was one thing we've always wondered about these talismans. Like, is it simply that you just grab a rock, carve this exact same carving in a rock, and boom, you got yourself a talisman? Or is there a little bit more to it? And we always kind of figured there was a little bit more to it, some kind of spell that gave these things the power to repel the monsters. It can't just be as simple as replicating the symbol, or otherwise I imagine there'd be a lot more than 12 talismans. It seems like we only have 12, because maybe she could only make one for each parent. And that's why there are 12, to protect one from every parent that got turned. And maybe that does kind of speak a little bit more to the possibility that more monsters were turned along the way instead of the entire town getting turned. But no, I like the idea of that tying all the way back to her, because again, it seems like we're getting some hints, a lot of hints heading into some of those directions. And yeah, Tabitha knew about the totems as well. You know, we heard her, you know, she gets that memory back that these totems were created to fight against these nightmares that manifested out of the forest.
And Jade didn't know that. So
No, Jade didn't know
Chiquita
that.
Cyborg, Jade doesn't know this. That's why I'm thinking Tabitha is a witch. Okay. If she
Could have
just the bare minimum, just the fact that she's able to turn a rock into protection, that means that you have to use some sort of magic to make this rock more than it is, right? Carving something into a rock is not going to be enough. We have seen a ton of people carving things, right? The symbolism has been there. Kenny carves chess pieces. Randall carves a little figurine. So the symbolism is there. She carved these things because she had knowledge of the magic that it would take to make them powerful. She knew about the totems because she used to make them with her mom. Her and her mom were probably, the town's witches. They used to do all sorts of stuff to
Okay.
people, and suddenly it becomes personal and she doesn't want to play anymore.
Okay. Interesting. So no, I like that. So I mean, I like that idea that maybe this colonial woman creature that we're going to see, maybe it isn't the original Tabitha, but the original Tabitha's mom. I think that's an interesting theory. That's a new one I have not heard yet. So no, I like that. I think that could very easily fit. That and even them kind of hailing from a line of practitioners, because again, we are seeing clear signs of magic here, incantations, and the whole nine, hexes and everything. So no, I like it. I think it's interesting. I think it is interesting. Duck Chasers says could be her nightmare, or could be something that she summoned to protect her, or the demon she summoned with, maybe even worked with. Who knows? And again, I think that's that's what's so kind of alluring and fascinating about this Man in Yellow character is the origin just still hasn't been revealed yet. Who is this guy? Where did he come from? What is his true origin? At the very beginning, when he first showed up at the end of season 3, one of the biggest theories, or at least one of the most popular theories we see going around, was that he seemed to be, or people thought he was, this cosmic level entity, this Lovecraftian eldritch abomination type entity. But as we get more and more into season 4, we're starting to see that he doesn't seem to really be that, at least not that high. Seems to be more on the lines of something that is very powerful, something that maybe isn't fully human anymore, but very much is still, able to bleed, probably is able to be killed in some manner, and relies on magic and spells to be powerful, maybe even to kind of propel its immortality. So, the more we see, the more I start to think less and less that this is some kind of super powerful eldritch abomination entity, and that it is more along the lines of, a witch, a druid, something along those lines. It just seems like it's heading in that direction, especially with these very deliberate spells that we're seeing. So no, I like it. And again, one of the things that I thought could be interesting about it being the original nightmare, the nightmare of the original Tabitha, is when you go all the way back that many centuries, one of the things that people had huge fear of back then was witches. So if Fromville is able to manifest people's fears when they die, a witch being manifested in this place, it doesn't seem too out of the ordinary considering what we've seen. But again, definitely more of a tinfoil theory. But when I saw this post from the official MGM account the other day, I thought, wait a minute, now they're just screwing with us. No one is ever ready to come face to face with their nightmare. So yeah, again, more tinfoily theory, but I think it could be an interesting twist maybe if we find out the Man in Yellow is Tabitha's original nightmare, the original Tabitha's nightmare. But no,
I like
it. Just tinfoil, but it's kind of fun.
Tinfoil is great. Tinfoil is what we live for. Okay, it makes some. I mean, we talk for hours about the show. It's interesting to think about the what ifs. Now, they're putting it right out there. They're saying nobody's ready to come face to face with their nightmare. When we are talking about the storyline where I believe that Tabitha was a witch, if indeed her mom was involved, what does a witch fear? A witch, if you're powerful, right, you're not going to have the basic fears that other people do, right? So your fear is going to be manifested through something that could cause you danger. If you're a witch and you know that there is power in magic, I would guess that another witch, a warlock, somebody that you know, that you're really afraid of, that you don't mess with, they would be your nightmare. Like, yeah, I'm doing this thing, but that person over there, they do dark, dark stuff. So there is the potential that for Tabitha, this was another witch from the town that she was terribly afraid of. A brujo. She was terribly afraid of him. And that's why it's like, hey, you don't remember me. But I also like the idea that her nightmare was this entity that was so powerful, but so dark that it causes you to have fear even when you summon it. And she was so desperate to kind of take control of the ritual that she summoned him. But it went wrong. It went bad. That's why he's like, hey, you don't remember me? Like, you called on me. I'm here because of you, girl. Because he's also not showing himself to Jade. Do you notice how all of the attention of this man is on Tabitha? There's a finger pointing on Tabitha. Jade is kind of like the husband that was going along for the ride, and his witch wife was doing all these things.
Exactly. That's what it
A
kind of
good witch,
feels
okay?
like, right?
A good witch. Yeah, a good witch.
Because yeah, I mean, the man in yellow seems to have this deeper connection to Tabitha. I mean, maybe he has a deeper connection to Jade too, but we know for a fact that the man in yellow has a deeper connection to Tabitha that she hasn't remembered yet. So again, I more on the tinfoil side, but I thought it was a fun theory, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Again,
But
especially
listen, I mean, the more that I think about it, the more evidence that we have for that. Because
there's
listen, the
evidence.
monsters, what did they tell Jade? The monsters tell Jade, you were always like the dummy. That
Yeah,
makes it
you were
seem like
always the dumb one.
Tabitha was calling all the shots. And if she was a witch and she was powerful enough to make totems, powerful enough to make talismans, she probably made that bracelet for the original Jade. And that bracelet isn't just a cool hippie bracelet, but it was an amulet of protection that she would make for her husband. And her husband was just like Jade, just going around following her and doing as she wished. That's why the monster said, you were the dummy. Like she's the one calling the shots. And I'm saying, why, if the man in yellow has a problem with these two, if he struck a bargain with both of them, how come Jade doesn't see him?
Yeah, good point. You know, we see the man in yellow definitely seems to have this closer bond with Tabitha than he seems to have with Jade. Not just Tabitha, but Tabitha's family. First time we see him, he's killing Tabitha's husband. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that could potentially be maybe one explanation for that deeper connection there. Maybe, who knows? Who knows? But yeah. Awesome stuff, guys. Awesome stuff. And yeah, as Lee points out as well, Miranda, a lot of the stuff in Miranda's basement seem to be things that happened in the past, but also things that we have been seeing happening on the show now, things that didn't happen at the time that she painted them. So yeah, that does make me wonder, was Miranda not only seeing the past cycles, but was Miranda also getting small glimpses of future cycles, the cycle that was going to surpass her? Maybe Miranda was having glimpses of this cycle in particular, because somewhere, some way, she knew this was going to be the cycle that was going to be able to finally complete it. Because yeah, that is something that is very interesting. A lot of the paintings down there point to past events, but some of them seem to point to things that we see on our show in the current timeline. So that's the only thing I can think of, that maybe Miranda was glimpsing potentially future cycles, not just previous ones. But who knows? Do the talismans stop working in the next episode after they rip the tree? That is a question that we are wondering as well. Again, it seems to be what Donna was implying. And when you just look at the structure, when you look at the rules of how the talismans seem to operate up until this point, they seem to only work within an enclosed space, which means you can't have any windows open, you can't have any doors open, anything like that. So when we see when we see Jade and Tabitha put up the tarp and the talisman when they get into the chamber, technically they're safe. It's an enclosed space at that point. But yes, when you pop this freaking tree off, all of a sudden you got a gaping hole in the ceiling now. That is not an enclosed space anymore. So yeah, if Jade pulls out that tree, I have to imagine the talisman is not going to work anymore at all. But just a guess. And again, I think, Donna tried to warn them of this. She straight up said it's going to be tantamount to opening a window when you pop open that tree. So yeah, I don't think it's going to work. I don't think the talisman will continue to work. And I've been getting a lot of comments in the comment section of people thinking that the talismans themselves are just going to stop working in the finale because of that one scene of Smiley entering the clinic at night. It seems like he's going right through the door, opening the door himself. But I think there could be many explanations for that. Sophia taking the talismans for one. But there are a lot of people that think the talismans are going to stop working in the finale. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. But no, I like these theories. I like kind of diving into the deep end every once in a while and throwing on the tinfoil hat Xavier says maybe Thomas had to die because Tabitha never seemed to have more than 2 children at a time, a boy in white and a girl. And that's one thing that we were kind of wondering as well. Was Thomas just had to be sacrificed, unfortunately, because all of the Tabithas are only meant to have one son and one daughter. Maybe that is the case. Thomas was just never meant to be. I don't know. But it's a possibility. Definitely a possibility. Awesome stuff. I'm beginning to suspect Ellis is a sleeper agent. Maybe he made a bargain when he was angry at Boyd. That doesn't make sense, but what happens if Boyd and Ellis lose their wives to try and save the town? Now, I think that's an interesting theory. I mean, now that we are getting this new context for the Man in Yellow, knowing that he's clearly made bargains with just random fucking people in town, well, who's to say Clara was the only person he made a deal with? I highly doubt Clara was the only fucking person he made a deal with, now that I think about it. If you're the Man in Yellow, you're going to want to cultivate as many assets as you possibly can in this place. So, no, I think that's an interesting idea that maybe, the Man in Yellow sees Ellis at a very low point in his life. He sees him very vulnerable right after Boyd kills his mom. I mean, I imagine you could probably swoop in and with the right amount of pressure, manipulate Ellis into doing just about anything when he's in that very fragile and vulnerable state. So, no, I think that's a very interesting theory. I think it's a very interesting theory that maybe there are other bargains going on out there, with Ellis potentially being one of them. I like it. All right, let's see what else we got. Yeah, and what's going on with the sky next episode? Again, I think we were talking a little bit about this last week, but when we saw the title to episode 9, The Calm Before, we were wondering if that was not just a metaphorical title, but an actual literal title, that there is actually a storm that is going to be coming, and maybe it's going to be unleashed for 2 reasons. One reason, it's either Fromville pushing back. We know this place pushes back when they try to do too many things to get answers, to try and escape. This place pushes back. But then there's also the possibility that the lightning is being caused by Jade pulling out the faraway tree, which, again, if he does pull that tree out, I have a feeling it's going to unleash all hell on Fromville. And maybe this is the hell that is being unleashed on Fromville. Maybe that's what the red lightning is signifying, that Jade did, in fact, pull out the tree. But at least those are my 2 favorite theories, I think, heading into the new episode, that it's either tree-related or it's just general Fromville pushing back on them because they're getting so close to, getting out. There is some kind of evil force here that doesn't want them to leave. As much as the children want to be saved, it seems like there's also another force here that wants to keep them there and stop them from completing this mission. So yeah, I think that could be an explanation for it, personally. But who knows? Could be anything. Could be anything. Do you believe the town is going to be destroyed next episode? I don't know if the whole town will be destroyed next episode, but I am definitely anticipating some damage, some kind of damage with this red lightning and this destruction that seems to be going down. Again, I don't think the whole town will go, but I will be very surprised if we don't see some kind of damage, like lightning striking the motel sign or something crazy like that and knocking it down. Like, I could see some damage maybe happening for sure. But the whole town, can't destroy the whole town yet. We still got 1 more season to get through. So if this was the end of season 5, I would say, hell yeah, the fucking town's going to get destroyed. But 1 more season we got to get through. I think they can destroy a little bit of it, but they got to keep the whole town intact for the most part for next season.
I like how you say they could destroy a little bit of it, like just cause a little bit of damage, just kill a little bit of people, just a couple.
I mean, we do need some of these red shirts to get killed off a bit, so why not?
I know. I'm telling you, they have the best deal. Our main cast, they keep getting in it. Like Elgin, now Clara has a bargain with the devil, apparently. Yeah. And the red shirts, if you're a red shirt, you're living well. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
You're being provided for. Somebody is getting the food for you. You get to go into the diner.
Taking
you own
no
property
whatsoever.
Without property taxes. Never dying. Like, it's always the randos. It's always other people.
Yeah, it is. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Yeah, and like you said, we do see the talisman's not working in the cave, but I do think that could potentially be because Jade pulled the tree out. Again, if Jade does pull that tree out, then yeah, the talismans are not going to work in that cave. But if Jade doesn't pull the tree out and the talismans are also still not working, then that's an even bigger fucking problem at that point. But and again, a lot of people have been theorizing that all of the talismans are going to stop working next week. Who knows? Maybe. But yeah, I can't wait. I am looking forward to seeing this final episode. I think, it sucks that it's the final episode. It sucks that the season's going to be over, especially when it feels like it's only really, really, really starting to get good right now. So it's a little bittersweet. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how the season is going to end. Like, I definitely want to see the episode. But it's going to be a bit sad knowing that this is the final episode of season 4.
Yeah, I feel like it went by so quickly. And, there's two really bad takes that I'm seeing going around right now. And I
Mhm.
usually like everybody's ideas, okay?
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
like any idea, every idea, as long as you have a reasoning behind it. But
Mhm.
right now, there's two very bad takes as to the season ending.
Uh,
One take is stop complaining about the show. If you
oh,
don't like it,
jeez.
don't watch it.
People
The
are
other
allowed to
take,
criticize things. That's ridiculous.
yeah, the other take is it's boring. I don't get it. I'm going to stop watching it. The threats, right? And they keep criticizing each other, right? As one being the worst take of it all. And in reality, both takes are idiotic to me. And the reasoning behind it is because art is meant to be consumed, to be looked at, to be interpreted. If you made something, if you're a writer and you created a wonderful story like From, you didn't just create it so that everybody could be a yes man. Everybody could say, you're amazing, you're a genius, and that's it, the conversation over. You created this art so that people could interpret this art in different ways. So to me, not being able to say, I really like this is amazing. This part is not so amazing.
Mhm.
That's the whole point of it. That's the whole point of dialogue. I mean, we don't have, Plato over at the fountains anymore. This is our Socratic dialogue. This is what we do now to talk to people and to get to know each other's points of view. You can't just like everything. And if you do, I just don't trust your take.
Well,
If you
it's
tell me
more.
that everything's 100% awesome, including Elgin's storyline, I just don't trust you anymore.
No, and that's one thing that we've always kind of, always said here on that channel. Everything that you just said, I completely agree with. And we've always kind of been of that mind where, it doesn't matter if you like the show or hate the show. If you want to discuss the show in an open and fun way, then hell yeah, get in here and discuss it with us. It doesn't matter if you like it or not, or don't like it. We just want to hear your thoughts, your opinions. What are you seeing? How are you interpreting this piece of media that we're all watching? So yeah, I feel like if you have a discussion where everybody just always agrees on everything and everyone's of the same mind on every single topic, how are you ever going to learn anything that way? How are you ever going to grow and expand and broaden your horizons that way? And that's one thing I've always credited the chat a ton for. Every single time we do one of these streams, I feel like I learned something new from the chat, something that I didn't know going into the stream, whether it's about the show or whether it's just about learning something about life. So that's what's fun about this stuff. I feel like, yeah, if we were all getting along, we all get along. But if we all just thought the exact same way, if we all interpreted this show in the exact same way, every single scene, that would not make for a very fun discussion. The fun discussion comes in the differing opinions and discussing them,
Yeah.
seeing where we agree, seeing where we disagree, where we overlap. That's what's fun. That's how we kind of discover and figure this thing out together as a whole. So yeah, I'm very much of a similar mind. I feel like this show isn't for everybody. And that is one thing that we have always said. And I know you guys are probably out there saying the same thing to other people that are also complaining. The show isn't for everybody. We love the show, but there's nothing wrong with criticizing certain aspects of the show. But when it comes to the slow burn, when it comes to kind of, sometimes people only want answers, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Everybody's welcome to their opinion. Never let anybody tell you you can't criticize a piece of media that you like, that you love, that you've invested so much time and energy into. Never let anybody, you can't criticize certain aspects of it, especially if you're doing it in a constructive way, like we always do here on the channel, like you always do in the chat. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with not liking certain storylines. We've been very vocal about that this season. I know, a lot of you guys have as well. So yeah, it's a show that we all love, but there's nothing wrong with kind of discussing aspects about it that we don't like every once in a while, just as much as the aspects that we do like.
Yeah. And this is not that type of fandom, or it hasn't been yet, where you're afraid to say what you think. This is not the type of fandom that we have in From. We have like very interesting, intellectual people here, funny people who are open-minded. We haven't yet been afraid to say, hey, I didn't like that, for fear of everybody like getting angry with us, right? So we want to keep that open, everybody being able to say what they didn't like. I'm even seeing it in the chat. Now that we're talking about it, I'm seeing all of your chats with the different things that you didn't necessarily like. And it's great that you feel comfortable to say that. I just say stay away from those two, where there is no reasoning. The reasoning being, I don't like it, it's boring. There's no reasoning behind that. It's not for you. Or I love it. It is the most amazing thing since sliced cheese, provolone, and you must like it. And if you don't like it, then I'm going to get really angry with you. Don't criticize it. There's nothing worse than somebody who's just a yes man, who anything that you do, anything that you say is like, oh my God, that's amazing. Oh my God, I love that. Oh my God, that's great. You're amazing. You're a God. That's so annoying to me, because that's one, not realistic. Two, it's so egotistical. Like, that's not a real friend, okay? A fake friend is going to tell you you're amazing and everything that comes out of your mouth is like the best thing that has ever been said. A real friend is going to tell you when your wig doesn't match your hair color. If Julie had a real friend on set, they would have told her that wig isn't for you, girl. A real friend is going to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is always the best road to travel down, I guess you could say, especially when it comes to kind of criticizing media or friendship, as you said. But yeah, again, we all love the show, and there's nothing wrong with loving the show and also disliking certain aspects of a certain season of it. There's nothing wrong. Both things can be true. At once. And that's what I always say. Again, I love this show, but there are certain storylines that I just didn't really enjoy in season 4, and it was a little slow at times. But I feel like anytime we do criticize a certain aspect of the show, we'll always at least give a very detailed answer as to why we didn't like it, why this didn't work, why this storyline didn't work. And I notice you guys always do the exact same thing as well. It's not just running around saying, oh, the show sucks. I see you guys giving very detailed reasons and answers as to why a certain scene didn't work for you. And that is where the fun discussions come, at least for me. See, breaking down that, seeing how this person saw this scene, how they broke this scene down, what they got out of this scene, and how it differed from what I got out of the scene and from how I saw the scene. That is where some of the fun discussions come from, at least for me anyway, in the differing of opinions. But yeah, we're all watching the same show and we all interpret it in a very different way, and there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely.
That's the fun of it. Guys, we want to be your friends who bring you the provolone from home. That's what we want to be. That is who we want to be for you, okay?
We want to be the friend that brings the provolone cheese.
We want to bring you the provolone from our home and hand it to you and shove it right in your burger with our dirty little hands, and know that you could count on that, and know that you could count on us to tell you the truth.
Yeah. Hey, we'll bring the cheese. We will bring the cheese. That should be the new slogan for the channel here. We will bring
the cheese. We got the cheese. We got the cheese. Provolone.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Dark Burst says, if the Man in Yellow confronted Tabitha right after the discovery of the bone chamber, does that mean that the bones are not just part of an escape plan, but actually a trigger point that activates him directly? I mean, I think it was very interesting how the choice of dialogue that the Man in Yellow uses here. how he talks about, this, digging up these bones could potentially unleash a type of suffering that they couldn't imagine. But it also made me think of something that Sophia says to Clara in episode 9 as well, when Sophia says, "This place is born on ritual." And she talks about sometimes it's not so much what you're doing, but how you're doing it. And I think Sophia was very much referring to them digging up the bones there. It's not so much digging up the bones that's the problem. It's how you're digging up the bones that's going to be the problem. And I think that was referring to pulling out the faraway tree and the devastation it's going to cause if that tree is removed. But no, I think that's very interesting that maybe the bones aren't just like part of the escape plan, but a trigger point, something that activates him, something that he maybe senses even. I don't know. Does he have a connection to them in some way? Who knows? But definitely an interesting theory, Darkbird. I like it. Interesting. But yeah,
well,
I really hope that this final episode is going to give us a lot to chew on. Hopefully some pretty big revelations that we can have some pretty good answers to head into season 5, to theorize into season 5. I don't know. I think it's still very hopeful that the season is going to end on a bang. Even if there were some points of season 4 that I wasn't super thrilled about at times, overall, still love the show, still enjoyed season 4, and still very much looking forward to seeing where it's all going to end. Everything is set up to be one of two ways: amazingly done, just like the intersection of mythology, religion, and real life events. And again, that's one thing I think that a lot of us really enjoy about From, seeing all of these different intersections, seeing all of these different crossroads that the show creates by throwing all of these different mythologies and religions and real life world events, and the just the very basic nature of the human condition, how it explores that very deeply. This show kind of has a really good melting pot of all of these things.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to bring David Angel 81, right? Very much loved in the community of From. We know him, we love him. I wanted to bring his he's amazing. I wanted to bring his comment up because when we had the Man in Yellow in the chat, and when he was talking to us for a bit, he directly pointed out David as being somebody that he was the closest to getting the essence of From.
Yep, the psychological.
I remember that vividly.
Yeah,
yes, I remember vividly. The Man in Yellow pointed him out and said, "Yeah, this is the closest to the essence of From." Right? It's not quite a science. It's not quite magical, but it's the intersection, mythology, religion, real life events. That's why everybody sees something and says, "Ooh, that's what it is. It's esoteric witchcraft or hermetism or the Druids, the whatever it is." You're seeing everything in it because, it's a big melting pot, a witch's pot full of all of these different pieces of work, but you're not supposed to be able to find the answer in one specific one. It is this witch's pot full of all of these different ingredients. And I think after all, it's going to be like the Clara situation. David's going to have the answer after the whole thing is done and said. Maybe David is the show writer. Okay. He's been amongst us.
yeah. David's really John Griffin the whole time. And that would be quite the reveal. But no, I love David always has really good descriptions for some of the theories that he's laying out and some of the kind of deeper meanings behind the show, and that's some of the aspects that I kind of really enjoy. Again, I like the mystery, and it's always fun throwing on the tinfoil hat and stuff like that, but some of the deeper kind of character driven moments, the kind of deeper meanings behind the show, I love diving super deep into those things and trying to interpret those. And I love how David thinks. He's got a very inquisitive mind when it comes to kind of describing some of these things. So we love seeing David's comments.
Very high class, Jeremy. Very high class intellectualism, and going from there, we give you everything, guys.
At that point,
from there,
the whole chat is all I want to say. That's one thing that I love about this chat. Everybody seems to kind of kind of dissect this show in a very analytical way, I guess you can say, in terms of like how they're dissecting these details. And that's why we love these streams, because I do genuinely feel like I learn something new every time from you guys, from David and every single one of you guys in the chat. This is the smartest chat out of any of the shows that we cover on the channel, for sure.
So cheesy, Jeremy. So provolone in my burger.
Give me that provolone.
We got the provolone. But listen, Jeremy, what I was saying is, from David's very intellectual point, we give you everything, okay? We are not one tone here. Let's go all the way down. Let's fall all the way down the ladder. And let's talk about the question that everybody wants to know. Everybody's asking in the chat, did you catch that they edited Sophia in a way that was unfortunate? The chat wants to know your take on this.
God. I mean, yes, I think it's something that most of us noticed. And if any of you have been into the episode 10 trailer comment section on my channel, the latest video that we have uploaded on the channel was the episode 10 trailer. And the comment section, let's just say it's been very colorful in terms of people noticing the Sophia movement that many are pointing out. That's all I'll say on the subject. People are noticing it.
They should have done that. I'm saying, how do you miss that, guys? How is it? That's what I'm questioning here from. How do you miss this? I mean, all you have to do, I am a very innocent child, okay? I'm a very innocent child. And even I picked up on it. I'm like, that edit was not, that edit is not correct. But
it doesn't look, it looks strange. I'll say that. It looks strange for sure. For sure. But yeah, I mean, if you guys want a good laugh, I would say check out the comment section of the episode 10 trailer after the stream, and maybe you'll get a good laugh from some of the creative comments that we've been getting. But yeah, I mean, and when it comes to editing, you know, you do want to be careful that you're painting your actors and actresses just like on a more serious note. That you're painting your actors and actresses in a favorable light, because stuff like this does follow people throughout their careers. Like the last thing you want to do, like as an actor or an actress, the last thing you want to do is become a meme. That you do not want to become a viral meme online if you're an actor or an actress. Like that is something that will just follow you for the rest of your career. So yeah, you got to kind of be careful when you're cutting these promos and these trailers, and make sure that you have that awareness that you're painting your actors and actresses in a favorable light.
I need to have a word with that editor, because that is crazy. But I like what Cat Harlem here is saying.
I do too as well. Cat Harlem 499 says, I wonder how everyone is going to leave when the time comes. I envision them running around, getting the tires for the bus, and back to driving them away. I would love for them to kind of head out on the road. I think that could also be a very interesting aspect. But for me, another theory that I always wondered is if the faraway trees are ultimately going to be the way out. Now we know that they're here to complete a quest, a mission, to save the children. And it seems like the faraway trees aren't going to take them anywhere other than into other parts of Fromville. But part of me did always wonder that maybe this is why the faraway trees are so important. This is why the boy in white is so adamant that they don't cut it down. Because once they do save the children, once they complete whatever sacrifice, ritual, whatever mission they need to complete to successfully save the children, what if after that, the way out is ultimately going to be through the bottle faraway tree? I just feel like that would be a very good explanation as to what these trees are going to represent in the long run, the ultimate part that they're going to play in the long run. When I look at the trees and you see how, we learn the origin of them, how the children poured all their hope into the roots above them, and how those roots became the tree. And then you look at the mechanism of how the trees work, how the trees literally transport someone from one place to another. Almost like while the children were manifesting this and pouring their hope into it, they were also kind of creating an exit strategy, a way out. In the future. So that's kind of what I think. I think once they've finally successfully saved these children, I wouldn't be surprised if the trees are going to be the ultimate exit out, which makes it that much more daunting, the idea of Jade yanking this tree out of the ground. Is Jade potentially blowing up their doorway that they're going to need out after they do whatever they need to do with the bones?
I like that idea, but I feel like it's so hilariously tragic, Jeremy.
So tragic.
They
Yeah.
they ripped out the door, so they do the sacrifice, or because I think it's gonna require sacrifice. The ritual, they do everything correctly, and then it's like, okay, the tree will now open to the world. It's like, where's the tree? Oh shoot, we we ripped it out of the floor. That would be horrible. How would I get them out of here? Hmm. hmm. I mean, I have immediately two things come to mind. We could have the men in white take them all to the tower and kick them out one by one, right? Push them out one by one, 47 people. Or we could have, I would like them going on foot. So imagine all of these people just walking through the forest. They're walking through the road. And then where you usually loop around to the town, you just start seeing other cars and you start seeing houses and you start seeing that the world is there and you could never find the town again. Even if you turn back, if you try to walk back, the
It's
town has
just gone.
disappeared completely.
Okay.
As you're walking on the road, all of a sudden, cars are passing you by. And guess what? You're in the real world.
You see a
And they look like,
sword.
yeah,
You see a
and they're
gas
exhausted
station.
walking. Yeah.
Yep. And all of a sudden, it's like, holy shit, we're in civilization again.
Mhm.
No, I could definitely see it being that as well. Them kind of heading. I like all three of them, all three of those answers in terms of them potentially heading out on foot. I like Kat Harlan bringing up the idea that, yeah, I mean, we see them kind of scrambling to try and put the bus together to get everybody on the bus so they can finally drive out. And I could picture that in a scenario where like maybe the doorway is only going to be open for a certain amount of time, or maybe Fromville is getting ready to be destroyed behind them. If they don't get out of the doorway in time, they're going to get destroyed with it. So we have to see them kind of scrambling to put together this bus so they can kind of get out of Fromville before they get destroyed along with it. I could definitely see something like that happening as well. But yeah, interesting stuff, guys. But let us know what you guys think of the chat. When it comes to when it comes to the very ending of if our characters do successfully save the children, how do you think they will ultimately leave this place? What will be the actual physical door that they have to step out of? Could it be the faraway trees? Could it be the road? Could it be on foot? Could it be the lighthouse? What do you guys think the ultimate doorway out will be? Let us know what you think. Because yeah, again, we have to after they do whatever they do with the bones, there's going to have to be the matter of finding the actual exit. But yeah, it would be if, like you said, all that work just to blow up the exit. It would be so tragic. That would be so fucking tragic.
And you know what?
On boat. That's a good one. That's
On
also a very
boat.
interesting one that they might escape on water. Oh, that's been a very popular one. I like that.
Sophia was holding a little boat when she was about to kill Elgin. She had a
Yeah.
toy boat. We see a
Mhm.
toy boat also in the tower. So maybe she was, foreshadowing that a boat will be necessary if you want to get away from Sophia.
I love the boat theory. I do. I absolutely love the boat theory, and I think it fits in terms of some of the things that we've seen on the show. All of the foreshadowing for the boats that we have been getting. Yeah, no, I think that could be a very plausible escape exit for them, having to, and not only that, I think it would close the circle and it would close the loop in a very fitting way. Because when we look at the cave paintings, the original cave paintings, when we see the original settlers arriving in town, or what seems to be a depiction of the settlers arriving in town,
Mhm.
they arrived by boat. That is how they
Yeah.
originally arrived to Fromville, on the shores by boat. So yeah, I could totally see boats being the ultimate exit if it was the thing that started it all.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it's trying to tell them the answers to the end are at the beginning. That is how the story is going to end, maybe. Maybe it's trying to tell them they have done a great big to do about the boat. We better get a boat. We have been talking boat since season 1. So we better get some sort of boat, okay? And something beyond the toy boat. We
Yeah.
better get something. But somebody in the chat, they all have amazing answers that I want to get to and read
Yeah.
each and every one. But
Definitely.
before we do that, Jeremy, somebody in the chat did make a valid point that kind of goes with this boat. They
Mhm.
put Acosta in there and they
Yeah.
said, Acosta, you're really important. Acosta, she has skills. Boyd even gives her a little description, and she takes it down on her little notebook. And she's like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm looking for this. What did he look like? This man in yellow, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So you give her all of this info, and you kind of set her up to be the one to find something that is
Yeah.
going to relate to Sophia or is going to relate to the bones.
Uh-huh.
Then you end up giving that part to Elgin.
To Elgin.
So sometimes this is the first example that I could think of, but sometimes they're set up. They have set up a character to perfectly fit into that spot, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then she turns out to just be making a ladder, but she didn't find the picture. I understand that you wanted Elgin to maybe die, because let's be honest, there's no way that woman lets him live. There's just no way.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see how. I mean, like, how can she? Like, she literally just got figured out, and the first thing she says is, I really wish you hadn't have seen that. It's like, this is very detrimental to Sophia's plans. The Man in Yellow was not anticipating somebody finding a picture of Sophia. So this is definitely throwing a wrench in the Man in Yellow's plan. So yeah, I mean, Elgin's got to be a fucking goner. He better be a
Dude.
goner. I swear.
Even
if he-
Sophia was disappointed. That's what
Yeah.
that was. I
Yeah.
really wish you hadn't
This
seen
wasn't
that.
part of the
Listen,
plan. Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't so much that, but it was like, I'm really disappointed in you, dude. Like, this could have been fun if you took this to Boyd. Like, you're seriously showing me a picture of myself? Like, even she was disappointed in him. Like, you just don't learn, Elgin. The other thing is that the mechanism was a photograph. How many bad experiences
Of
does he
everything,
need?
right?
How many bad experiences do you need to have with the
For
photograph, dude?
real. How many times do these fucking supernatural photos need to, be staring you literally in the face before you learn something, Elgin?
It's
And that was something
simple.
that so many people were commenting on. So many people were like, what the fuck is wrong with Elgin? You find this picture of, and again, knowing everything he already knows, and like that TikTok thing you sent me earlier, very much encapsulates the same sentiment I felt. Where it's like, you've seen this place, Elgin. You've seen the craziness of this place, and in particular, these photos. You see this picture of Sophia, and your first instinct is to just walk right up to her and just say, hey, is this you by chance? What are you fucking thinking, Elgin? Take that to Boyd, take that to Donna, take that to Acosta, anyone other than Sophia. It's just such a
Listen.
bonehead move.
I'm just going to quickly. Elgin is going to be somebody that we will forever rant about. I could just see it. We're forever going to rant about him. But listen, just very, very quickly, because we all are struggling with this Elgin thing. They didn't even try to trick him, you guys. They didn't even say, hey, it's going to be a popsicle or some other prop. They're like, it's going to be a picture, dude. You have bad experiences with the photo. It shouldn't be that difficult for you to understand. Photos are bad. Photos got me in trouble. Photo took my eye out. The photo not good, right? But then, not only that, look at his week. The day before, he stabbed your best friend with the totem. He stabbed
NPC Roger. It's like you were just in the middle of some supernatural shit last fucking night. What are you thinking, pal?
Yeah. He stabbed them. So he came to the rescue and he saw, oh my God, there's bad things here. These things prey upon us. They almost killed us. So he did this. He knows that there's magic because he stabbed Roger. And then the next day, he totally forgets. He doesn't even question. Maybe that girl was bad. Maybe she wasn't an angel. Oh my
It's
God.
hilarious, man. But I love this outcome. I hadn't even thought of this as a possibility, but I fucking love this possibility now that Makita brings it up. I think Sophia will turn into Elgin, so they can only change into someone that was killed there. I mean, could that be a possibility? I mean, this Elgin thing, it didn't seem like Sophia was planning on this Elgin thing. She was not planning on getting discovered this early. So this is a problem Sophia needs to solve. So yeah, what better way to solve it than to kill Elgin and shapeshift into him to kind of make it seem like he's still around, go back and forth in between the Elgin and Sophia kind of forms. I think that could be a very interesting possibility where, yeah, she kills him and turns into him. Because it seems like she only needs to buy herself a little bit more time until all chaos ensues. So it's not like she needs to pretend to be Elgin for very long. But yeah, stupid is as stupid does. Elgin.
I like it. And you know why I like it? Because
I
we
like
have
it.
to address
I like
the obvious in the room.
Mhm.
What are you gonna do with the body, Sophia? What are you
Exactly.
gonna do with that body? How do you get rid of it? So you become Elgin, that kind of takes care of the body. However, and this is where
Well,
I
she
have to
still has to hide the
question
body somewhere.
Elgin's body.
Yeah, like
Oh yeah,
if
because she
she
turns.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
she
yeah.
kills him and turns into him, she'll still have to hide his body somewhere, but it will
That's
at least
true.
explain it'll at least it won't be Elgin just is missing out of nowhere. Oh, like where the hell is Elgin?
Mm,
You know, people will notice Elgin's missing eventually. But if she kills him and
mm.
turns into him, she can kind of at least keep the ruse up for a little bit where people won't notice Elgin's gone. If she can successfully hide the body, that is.
Ada
Or
Wiltube
maybe
has
she
the
eats
answer. She eats them.
she eats
She
him.
eats them. I mean, hello. We
But
have seen him eating people, so maybe
we
he
have.
just eats Elgin. You know.
Very well. But I think her killing Elgin and turning into him is my favorite theory. But the thing I think is going to happen most likely is this. I think David Eigel brings up, Sophia could make a bargain with Elgin here, and that's where I think it is going to go. That she's going to make some kind of bargain or threaten him in some kind of way. But I also, again, I love the idea of her kind of just killing him and turning into him. That's so fucking cool,
Dude. Threats don't work with Elgin. This is the thing.
Yeah,
Threats
maybe
don't
not.
work with this dude
Maybe not.
because Boyd is pretty tough. And what did Boyd do? He straight up threatened him. He
Yeah.
closed the door and everything. He said, before you
Yeah.
go out there, close the door. And he threatened him. He's like, I'll make sure that the truth
Mhm.
doesn't. Did that work for him? No, it
No.
doesn't work. Elgin, it totally went over his head. Threats don't work with this man.
Mhm.
But also, this is where I have to kind of question the community too. After my girl Sarah killed her brother and she was hearing voices, did anybody let her work at the diner? No, it's not until recently that they invited her back. But it was a while. People were treating her pretty badly. It was a
Mhm.
while until they let her be around. She kind of was on the outskirts of the community.
Definitely.
So now, what Elgin did isn't just Boyd knowing. Acosta knows, Donna knows, Sarah
Mhm.
knows. And
Yeah.
even though they know what he did with the details and everything, they're letting him help build the ladder that's going to rescue the two most important people in From. Like, you're going to let him help. You didn't let Sarah get close to anything in the diner, but now you're going to let Elgin help. And there's multiple people. I know Boyd is busy, but Donna should say, like, let me keep an eye on him. I know Donna's busy, but Acosta is there. Acosta saw everything. Like, she heard the details and all. And they just let him help. There's a little bit of stuff that's not adding up. But, you know.
Mhm. No, I mean, yeah, you do. Yeah, you have a point. You have a point. I mean, can you really trust Elgin at this point after everything he's done, after everything that he's, been accused of doing? I just don't know if you can really try again, especially with something as important as building this ladder. Like, this is a very important thing. And not only that, we see Sophia sabotaging it. I suppose if the ladder does break, could they end up maybe blaming someone like Elgin, thinking, oh, we never should have trusted him in the first place? Or could Sophia even kind of point the finger in that direction? But then again, now that he's in this predicament, I don't know. I don't know if Elgin's going to have much longer. Like, again, a lot of the chat seems to think Elgin's going to get killed and eaten.
Yeah.
And he might.
I
He
worry
might.
for Acosta, guys. I worry for Acosta chat because she's barely getting, like, I think that now she has her foot in the door. She's become part of the main gang. She's become part of the crew. She's helping. She's okay with Boyd. And she's tasked to be sort of the person that is managing the ladder. The ladder is going to go bad because we see that Sophia's sabotaging it. She, like, literally is putting a knife to it. I don't want this to blow back on Acosta. I don't want them to blame her for the ladder not working because somebody's going to get the blame once they see that this
Okay.
doesn't work. And I don't like it that they're kind of setting up Acosta to take the blame. I mean, you would blame her. You would be like, I gave you this task. You're supposed to be super amazing at this. And look, like, you couldn't even make a ladder.
Yeah. Could definitely see that happening for sure. Whenever something goes wrong, something catastrophically wrong in those situations, people are always looking for someone else to blame, someone else to take their anger out on. So I could see that. I could definitely see that. Yeah, the man yells is a game show host. Let's make a deal. He is. He's making deals. He's wheeling and dealing left and right for sure. Elgin's too gullible for her to murder anyone else. She'd have to kill, but all she's going to say is, do this and you can go home, and homie's going to be ride or die for her. Again, Elgin has proven that he hasn't learned a whole lot from his first foray of being controlled by the kimono creature. Yes, he realizes that this creature isn't an angel. At least it seems like he might recognize that he was manipulated, but he still hasn't really learned anything from it in terms of him still believing that there is truth here. You just need to see through the lies to get to the truth. And yeah, that tells me that he is very much still susceptible to being manipulated. And maybe that's what we'll see here. Again, I think it's going to be an interesting outcome. Will Sophia kill Elgin, or will she try to bargain with him? I guess those are probably two of the most likely options. I don't know.
Nothing good. There's a door being locked. That tells me it's probably going to be the worst one. But Elgin is the guy that falls for the bots. Elgin is the one that falls for somebody sending him a message saying, I am the king of some continent and I just need a little bit of money and then I'm going to give you my fortune. That's who Elgin is at heart. That's who he is. So, I mean, can you even depend on him to help you? I don't know what Kimono Lady was thinking. Because he kind of outed himself to Ellis. That's how Ellis knew that Elgin knew something about him, because he was being so obvious. He's like, oh, whatever happens to Fatima, Ellis, she's going to be okay. Don't worry about her. He was basically saying, I have her. I have taken her, but don't worry about it.
Don't worry. It's all good. You're good. No worries. Don't stress it.
Elgin would end up on Catfish. Yes, Elgin would end up having a 15-year-long relationship with a catfish online. He would end up calling the show and saying, hey, she always has problems with her phone and her internet, and I've never been able to see her in 20 years.
Every time she's about to visit me, something happens with this or that. It's just always a very unfortunate circumstance of events. But she's real, I promise. Poor Elgin, man. Very gullible. Very gullible. Blitzkrieg also brings up, though, if Clara could turn on Sophia, giving Elgin a chance to escape. He could run to the tree, and then that might put a stop to them pulling up the tree. I mean, I suppose that's definitely an interesting possibility. Again, this whole tree thing, is Jade really going to pull down this tree? And if he does, what is going to be the consequence of it? And is it going to be this nasty storm that we see is coming to Fromville? But yeah, I don't know. I mean, could Clara maybe end up turning on Sophia? Clara was a very interesting thing, because up until now, Clara was, yes, she made this deal with the man in yellow, but hadn't really done anything yet. Was kind of just sitting around waiting for that number to kind of get called. But as soon as that number did get called, Clara quickly stepped in from kind of someone you maybe felt a little bad for, kind of halfway innocent, to full on guilty. Full-on collaborator of the man with the man in yellow. But I have to imagine that has to have her feeling incredibly bad. Like when we see Clara give Fatima the blood, you see Clara running out of that hospital, out of the clinic afterwards, almost in tears. Like you can definitely very much tell that this is something that is weighing on her, like having to do these things. It's not something she wants to do. So yeah, I mean, I could totally see maybe at some point Clara maybe wanting redemption, maybe feeling a little bit too guilty, sacrificing herself, or turning on Sophia in some small way that helps the group. I could see it getting to her at some point, because Clara does seem like she is, a sweet person, and it just seems like she's the kind of person that the guilt would be too much at some point.
No, poor Clara. No. No, poor
No,
Elgin.
hell
No,
no,
poor Clara.
no, poor Clara. Absolutely not. She's
No,
full
no,
on
no.
guilty. She's full on guilty.
Dude.
There's nobody saying poor Clara, or at least I'm not anyway. But I can see
No.
her
She wasn't
going
like
through
crying.
this
She was like
process.
in tears. She's malicious, this girl. Because, okay, you have to give the tea. Fine. You have to give her the tea. Fine. It's affecting you. But this girl says, take care of yourself. That's unnecessary, Clara. You know that nothing good is going to happen. I need her to grow a conscience. But even if she does grow a
That's what I'm saying.
conscience, I don't believe that at this point, the how far she's gone, somebody said it best in chat. She's trying to be teacher's pet. She is going
Yeah.
up above and beyond. She wants to get an A plus plus at being the mole. Molly, Molly, mole. She wants to be A plus plus because the men in yellow, Sophia, didn't need to know that the plan had changed. But there goes Clara making that big long walk from Colony House all the way to the diner to tell her the plan has changed. I thought you would like to know. Clara, that shows me you're no closer to repenting. And that was after. That was after the tea. So if she was so sorry about it, how come she did that after the tea? Jeremy has died.
Oh no, she's 100% guilty. Again, she might have started off innocent, but I feel like she was guilty the second she made this deal in the first place. But then when she goes on and acts on it and continues to act on it, she is 100% guilty. But I do get the feeling she's gonna get to the point where the guilt just feels too much, where she just can't handle the guilt anymore, and maybe she will turn on Sophia. I could definitely see that happening. But no, she's guilty. I mean, I don't see how she could not be guilty after what she did. She's going over and, way extra in terms of what was required of her, what was asked of her. Like you said, she didn't have to go to Sophia and tell them the plan has changed, that it's just Jade and Tabitha going down there. That was free information that she offered up. But I definitely could see at some point, like once we see what's happening to Fatima, once Clara sees what is happening to Fatima more and more, once it gets worse, yeah, I could see Clara getting to the point where the guilt just gets too much and she tries to turn on Sophia or even offs herself. But who knows?
Well, I like what Chiquita is saying here. Clara is an evil entity. Pick me. She is an evil entity. Pick me, please. I will do your bidding and I'll go above and beyond. Pick me. Clara, you have already been picked. You already made the bargain. You're a good girl. You don't have to do all that much, But yeah, I really like what Katrina is saying because credit where credit is due. Mordecai, if you know Mordecai, he is primarily on TikTok, but he also has a YouTube account. I don't know how Mordecai did it. This YouTuber and TikToker, he knew about Clara like from the get-go. It was like 3 episodes in and he was like, I don't like her. I don't like Clara.
Well, to be fair, a lot of people did.
Yeah. But I mean, so early on, he's the person that I saw like early on. Clara hadn't even done anything. I kept saying, no way. Like, this girl's not doing anything. She's super nice, super sweet. She didn't even put up a fight. But I don't know how it was that he saw it coming so early on. He has an amazing Labubu collection, so go check him out. Like, love the Labubus. He has them all over his wall. They're amazing. And he has the best eyebrows in the game. So go watch Mordecai. But he called it. And also, the chat is reminding us, we also owe an apology to Randall. Our apology, Randall. Our apology. Because Randall knew that there was a mole. He had the wrong person. He should have gotten Clara and tied her to the
wrong
tree.
person, yeah. Very true. You should have fucking Clara tied up to that tree. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. But yeah, I think the Clara thing was, it started to become a meme at one point because a lot of people were throwing a lot of suspicion on Clara right from the very beginning because they just thought that she was a little too suspicious because she's popping up in all of these random places. She's always right there in the background, always kind of eavesdropping, always asking what's going on. So I think that's where a lot of it kind of stems from. It's just seeing Clara just very busy, being a very Fromville busybody, I guess you could say early on, which made a lot of people sus. But for me, again, for me personally, it feels like fan service. It feels like this is something that became super big over the years, and they threw it in towards the end of the story. I don't know. It just feels that way. It doesn't feel like this is something that has been planned from the very beginning. It does feel a little more like fan service, just considering how much of a background character Clara really was. Like, if you're planning to have her be this secret mole, you would have thought you would have given her a little bit more of a role in the earlier seasons. But that's just my personal opinion. I very well could be wrong, but for me, it just screamed like fan service for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Could very well be wrong.
Yeah, it definitely could read that way, because one thing about From, Katrina, is that From has amazing writing, and it's always something that you don't think about. Or usually in the earlier seasons, the answer to the question was so simple, and yet nobody could figure it out. Like Ankui, nobody knew that Ankui meant just remember. Very simple, but brilliant. And so when Clara came up as somebody targeted to be the mole, I thought, it's just too easy. She's always in the background. She is always listening in. It's something that is so obvious, and they're not obvious writers. They're just not, that type of writer that would put something in your face. There's a reason why we have been asking for answers, and there's a ton of us trying to figure it out, because they don't just give you things like that. So they kind of gave it away with Clara, if in fact she was always supposed to be the mole. But I could definitely see how others think, like Mordecai was saying, like, it's so obvious. The question is not how is she the mole. The question is how you missed that she was the mole. And that is true. That's actually pretty true. It is obvious that she was always in the background. She was hanging around. How did we miss it? I don't know. I just thought that she was a very nice and sweet girl. And I thought that she was nosy. Hey, being nosy is not a crime. That's just what I thought she was doing. But no, how did we miss it? God knows. I missed it completely. 100%.
Well, I mean, a lot of people did. Again, a lot of people have been pointing out this this Clara thing, right from the very beginning. And for me, it just always felt like it was just a little too kind of on the nose to actually be really what's going on. Like, really a mole, Clara of all people. Like, again, the whole mole storyline just always seemed very unnecessary, considering how this town works and how the information works within the town and the monsters and everything. But no, again, maybe it was something that they've been planning from the very beginning, but I don't know, man. It really, really read like fan service to me. But I could very well be wrong. But yeah, a lot of people pointed it out. A lot of people did notice right from the very beginning. A lot of people were suspicious of this Clara character from the beginning.
Yeah.
And it looks like all of you that were suspicious, you guys were right. You guys
were correct. Celebration time. And Quan Solar, no, Mordecai isn't the only one. There was a lot of people that saw the same thing. And Clara, a ton of creators. And, it grew in the fandom. It snowballed, so it became very, very popular.
Wow.
Yeah, it became a meme. So
Became a meme.
all of you guys were right. Everybody who has said that Clara is somehow the mole or she's working undercover, everybody was right. The reason why I mentioned Mordecai is because he's the first person that I met, like way back.
Yeah.
Well, it was way back before I even got online or anything, met any of you guys. But he made a video, and this is on TikTok. I used to only watch TikTok, that got like millions of views, like millions and millions. So it was coming up on everybody's For You page because he made millions just pointing out, like, here she is again. And so he was circling, there's something to this girl. And that's how I know that, to me, he was the first one because I kind of saw that one. But then again, it was millions of views, so I don't know. But that was like years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing with some of these more popular theories. Sometimes a lot of people come to the same conclusion when it comes to certain little things on the show. And again, a lot of you have been pointing out the sus ways of Clara, and we all see it. I mean, she's popping up in the most random fucking spots. It almost made it seem like it was a little too obvious, to be that was really what was going on. That's why it kind of feels a little fan servicey. But yeah, maybe they were planning this right from the very beginning. Could totally see that being the case. And yeah, is Clara a Nepo baby? I believe the actress that plays Clara, I'm not 100% sure, but I think she might be related to somebody on the production. I think. Not 100% sure, though, so don't quote me. But yeah, the bargain was for Clara to help someday when required. Maniello never asked her for anything before Clara even thought that she had dreamed about the bargain. That's actually a very good point, because we do see her say that exact words. She was starting to wonder if that whole thing was a dream. So yeah, Clara really never knew what she was going to have to do. Never really knew what this deal, this bargain was going to entail. Just knew that it would hopefully lead to her being able to get led home. But yeah, she even started to believe that it was a dream at one point. Very true. Very true.
I mean, okay, that is very interesting to me. If she believed that this was a dream, how did he present himself to Clara? It must have been in a way where she definitely thought, oh, this is fiction. This has to be a dream because nobody looks this way. So we know that the black eyes were a tell sign, a trigger sign for her to remember. That means the eyes were definitely there. So he had black eyes. But what form was he in that she thought this has to be fiction? This has to be a dream.
I have to imagine she was in the Man in Yellow form, the just straight up Man in Yellow form with his black eyes. And I think that's why she showed him, why Sophia showed her the black eyes in that moment. So she would recognize, holy shit, this is the Man in Yellow. So that's just my guess. If I had to guess, that's the form that he showed up to Clara in.
Yes. And oh my God, Kiwi, yes, the girls.
That's
Dana
right.
Marie,
Yeah,
the
Dana's
witches,
been
the
saying it from
girls.
the
How could we
very
forget the girls?
beginning. Yeah, I totally forgot about
Dana
that.
Marie, the Witch's
Right.
Brew, Scarlet, the From girls, and I think even From Mom was on to Clara. Exactly. They have been on Clara since
Dana's
the
been holding that flag.
beginning.
Yeah, Dana's
Yeah,
been carrying the Clara is a mole flag from the
that's
very
true.
beginning.
That
This
is
is very
right.
true, Kiwi.
Yeah.
And it
Hey,
looks like you guys were right. Clara is
it's a
indeed, well, again,
celebration. This
it's
calls
a
for a celebration, Dana Marie. I hope that you are celebrating because that is true. And I think that this is ever since I met her, and this was years ago too. So this must have been around the same time that
she was
Mordecai
supposed
did
to,
his video. But
yeah.
this was like, or even before, she had been calling Sasa and Clara. And I remember a lot of people were saying, no, there's no way, it's too obvious and all of that. And she stood her ground on what she believed. And guess what? She was right and everybody else was wrong. So I love that. Yeah, that is right. Our girl, Dana Marie. Oh, and Scarlett too. Yes, of course.
But yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting to see Clara was the mole the whole time. Again, even if I don't really know if it was planned the whole time. I still think it was a little fan servicey. But yes, Dana definitely called it. Dana was was very much carrying that flag. Clara is the mole.
Yeah.
Clara's
says,
been always Team Sus. She has. You see why it became such a popular theory, why it became such a popular meme within the fandom. Because Clara pops up in the weirdest fucking places at the weirdest fucking times.
Yeah. I mean, if it was, I think that either way, this is a very exciting thing. Because, okay, if they had it planned, that means that Dana saw this coming when nobody else did. Like she picked it up right away if they had this planned. If they didn't have that plan, it's still good for Dana because guess what? If it's fan service, that means that the creators tuned in to what she was doing and they're like, you know what? We're going to give it to you, girl. We're going to make her a mole. So either way, if it's fan service or not, I think it's really exciting.
I think it's interesting. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. And again, I think we have seen a couple different aspects, a couple different references of the writers maybe doing this exact thing, taking really kind of popular things from the fandom and working them into a show in a kind of, a small way that it doesn't like super impact the overall narrative, but ways that are noticeable, ways that fans will see it and they'll instantly notice it, whether it's Clara being the mole, whether it's Boyd talking about using the talismans to trap the monsters, huge fan theory. Smiley coming back. There's been a lot of examples of them kind of pulling these really popular theories and putting them into the show. Even the tarot card, down to the very tarot card itself. So yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if the writers throw that in there every once in a while as a little wink and a nod to the fandom.
I think it's exciting. They're listening.
Cool. There's nothing wrong
They're
with it.
here. They're listening. They're amongst us.
And that's what it tells me. If that is the case, if nothing else, it tells me that the writers have a certain appreciation for the creativity of the fandom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
At least enough to
I
use their
like it. They care about the fandom. I mean, they seem very sincere every time that they interview and they talk about the expectation. They seem super, super sincere.
Absolutely.
Quan says, if they make this about aliens, I know they're about the fan service. I like
Yeah,
aliens,
honestly,
so I'm partial to aliens because now that it's a witch, I can claim alien. However, before it was a witch, you could still say that this is a four-dimensional entity. Four-dimensional entity is an alien. But I like aliens. I'm into aliens, guys. So that's just me.
yeah, PM
Would
just
I be
really loves
disappointed?
aliens. Hmm.
I mean, what about if they're not even in this planet? What about if they're in another planet and they think that they're on Earth, but
That
in
was
reality,
Mhm.
they're on another planet and it's aliens that took them?
That was one of the early theories that was tied to the aliens, that this isn't that they were all abducted, that they're actually on some kind of other planet or even on some kind of alien ship that is so vast that it has a kind of simulated environment in it. There's so many kind of alien theories going around early on when the show first started about them being abducted. And again, we were so early on in the show that all of these theories could have very well been possible because we just knew nothing about the show at that point yet. But no, I think Quan Solar is right. Yeah, if they make this about aliens, I know it's some fan service. Yeah, at least where we're at this point, it very much seems to be heading into the kind of firmly in the magic, supernatural, horror, psychological realm, as opposed to the kind of like sci-fi alien realm. So I think that would be a very jarring kind of twist if all of a sudden we found out it was really aliens the whole time. I feel like that'd be super jarring, just narrative wise.
You know, the one that I really would like them to do if they're doing fan service, I want them to do Terran Matherus's whole thing. Like he has a section for the wig. Like he has the wig tied into Cleopatra's original hair, and he has her as well as Bigfoot and all this stuff. So if you're gonna do something from the fans, Terra Materus is the one that I would like to see. Because he had a like going all over the world sort of thing. So I would like to think if they had all the budget in the world, Netflix budget, right? It sounds like Netflix picked them up. That's the one. I want to see like Tabitha and Jade kind of Da Vinci Code it all over.
Oh, geez, yeah, it would be a spectacle if nothing else. That is for sure. That is for sure. Yeah, they're on an alien spaceship. Yeah, I there's a lot of very fun theories going around about the alien stuff in the beginning.
You guys are silly.
Super
you guys are
fun.
so silly.
Good stuff.
The chat is crazy. Julie's wig versus Bigfoot.
Oof, Julie's wig. Nothing is defeating Julie's wig ever. I mean, even Chuck Norris would have a tough time with Julie's wig. And Chuck Norris is immortal. Peachy says, it's fan service when season 5, episode 1, Malcolm from Jurassic Park shows up and says, you were so preoccupied with whether or not you could you didn't stop to think if you could just pull down that tree. I mean, if we see some Jurassic Park crossover, then yeah, we're going to get some fan service. For me, I think the biggest fan servicey thing the show could ever do, which would never fucking happen, but if we see fucking Sam and Dean show up in season 5 in their 67 Chevy Impala going right to their trunk and pulling out all their gadgets and start taking out monsters, that would be some fan service. That would be some fan service. A lot of
You know
people,
who I like? You like, yeah, a lot of people like that. And they mentioned something about the eyes. I've never seen it, Jeremy. Do they have those eyes? These two? The black eyes?
The demons do. In Supernatural, the demons have black eyes like that.
Okay. Who I would like to see is, you guys might not know it, but it's Melinda from Ghost Whisperer. Did you ever watch Ghost Whisper? It was
I
like on the
have
Lifetime
not.
or the Hallmark Channel.
I know, yeah, I
Um,
know what it is. Is that the one with
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Jennifer Love Hewitt? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she was gorgeous. She was Ghost Whisperer. She could talk to all the ghosts and figure out what they need, and then she helps them like find peace.
Uh-huh.
So I would like to see her, or obviously Detective Russ Cole, who probably would tell them like, "Why do you want to live? Live." He's a nihilist. Why do you want to live? There's
Russ
no
Cole
point
would
in
make a better
living.
monster, if anything.
But if you want to get out of here, I guess I'll help you. That's
I
kind of
guess
his
I'll help
vibe.
you. I guess I'll figure out this weird symbolism for you and get us out of here. But there's really no point.
Oh my
Um,
God, the voice is on point, Jeremy.
love that show. Love that fucking character. That's when it comes to like favorite characters of all time. PM and I really love Russ Cole. It's the guy's just fucking so good. So good. Yeah, Crossroad Demons. Yep, very much have very similar eyes to the Man in Yellows with the black, with the red as well. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Again, Supernatural was just such a fun show, and if that would be a dream crossover, seeing Sam and Dean show up in front of them. Netflix picked up From. Yes, they have. I mean, now From is very much still owned by MGM Plus. From will always be an MGM Plus original, but Netflix has recently acquired licensing rights in order to stream the show on Netflix. So it's still an MGM show. The new episodes will always be uploading on MGM when season 5 eventually comes around, but people will pretty soon be able to watch Netflix and watch From and catch up on From through Netflix, because there's a lot of countries and there's a lot of people that don't have access to the show. Still to this day, there's countries that don't have access to the show, but they do have access to Netflix. So it seems like MGM and Netflix came to some sort of licensing agreement where Netflix can play the previous seasons. So I imagine season 4 probably won't be on there. But when they do upload it, you'll probably be able to watch the first 3 seasons on Netflix for a while at least. But it is still owned by MGM. And like you said earlier, PM, when we first heard that news, this could very much kind of blow the show up even more in terms of the international audience that might have not had a chance to be exposed to From yet. Seeing it on Netflix now is definitely going to grow the fandom even more.
Yes, I'm excited. With new people come new ideas,
Exactly.
new references, points of reference, right? Based on their history, their past, all of that. So that's very exciting. I'm excited to see what the new fans have to say. And hopefully, they like it, and we don't hear that it's like the worst show ever, because I don't think it's not amazing and 100%. Nothing is 100%. But I hope that they love it. That's just my hope.
I hope so, and I'm sure a lot will. I am sure a lot will. And yeah, and then I guess a big question that a lot of people have been asking now that we know From is officially coming to an end. Season 5 will be the final season. That has been a big question everybody wants to know. Will there be some kind of spin-off show, some kind of prequel, some kind of sequel show? I don't know. Again, at this point, with how popular From is and how much it's meant to the streaming service, MGM Plus, like From has brought in so many new subscribers to MGM, and that is what they want. As much as they want people watching the show, which they do, they want people subscribing to the streaming service more than anything else. And they see how much From grew them. So I wouldn't be surprised if at the very least they attempt to do some kind of spin-off, whether it's a prequel series, a spin-off series. I mean, we have to really see how this one is going to end to see if a sequel series will even be possible. But if not, I could see them at least maybe attempting to do some kind of prequel series, maybe a show set during the original timeline, the original Settlers, a show set around the original Jade and Tabitha, or even a spin-off show, like maybe a smaller mini spin-off show based on Victor. Tell Victor's story in its entirety. There's so much about Victor's story we don't know. All the years that he spent alone here. I would definitely watch a young Victor spinoff show in a fucking heartbeat. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they at least attempt something. Doesn't necessarily mean it'll get made if they do try, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do at least try.
Oh my God, I would love that. I would love it to be like a buddy sort of, comedy with Victor and the boy in
And
white
the boy in white.
surviving in Fromville, right?
Mhm.
And all of their adventures
You
and
can
them
bring
eating
Doug back.
peaches.
You can bring Doug back. You bring Doug back as the Man in Yellow. You can bring Miranda back. There's characters you could bring back from the original, so you have that tie to the original still. But and I think there's, with the history of Fromville and how rich and how many centuries this has been going on for, there is so much room for prequel potential here.
Oh yeah. And you know what? I would watch a whole show about Boyd's life. If we could start back in the war, because we know that he served
Oof.
and how he met Abby. I would watch a whole thing on his life because he seems to have lived a very interesting life previous to From.
Yeah. Yeah, and even like a show set around Boyd and Abby, Boyd and Iron Abby, starting with their time in the service, how they met, how they fell in love, and how they eventually get into Fromville. Honestly, there isn't a Fromville spinoff that I wouldn't watch at this point. No matter how kind of slow the story might sound or whatever the case might be, any From spinoff that they did, I would definitely watch it, and I would definitely be covering it here on the channel.
Anything.
But yeah. I mean, there's endless possibilities for a prequel here. Again, depending on how it ends.
Even Dale and Donna. Even a spinoff with Hands in My Pants and Donna, and Dale, even them. When did Dale get here? What was he doing before? I love all of the characters. There's not one particular one that I wouldn't watch a spinoff of.
Yeah,
More From, the better.
For me, the two best, the two prequels that I would want to see the most would either be a Young Victor spinoff series or a series, a prequel set around the original settlers, the original kind of townsfolk, tell their story in its entirety. Depending on how much they give us in this main series, I have to imagine there's still going to be plenty more that they could potentially explore. So that would be my two ideal spinoffs that we could potentially get: a Victor spinoff and an original Settlers spinoff. Found, yeah, we'll call it Found instead of From. I mean, you certainly can't call it Lost. If it's a Young Victor one and he's lost in Fromville, you certainly can't call it Lost. But we
I love it.
Yes. No more Mr. Nice Rye. Absolutely.
Provolone. Oh my God. And he made Alone. Provolone, the Henry spinoff.
That is gold. I'd watch it. I'd watch that.
I watch it
in a fucking heartbeat.
I want to know where his love for provolone came from. What is the story in the family with this provolone? Why does it need to come from home? What's going on with Henry? He did acid, so it's gonna get wild. Okay, this would not be, your regular grandpa, regular grandpa. No. This guy was doing acid and he was a hippie. So this would be wild. Maybe that's where the love for the provolone comes from. That's one of my favorite things about the entire season. The provolone has become one of my favorite things, especially because he was on the fence, Jeremy. It's not fair. He was on the fence about should I smother Victor or not. But then he goes to the fake son. The fake son is like, here, Dad, I got your provolone from home. And all of a sudden, he's made up his mind. He's like, you know what did it for me? It was the provolone. I'll smother him.
Oh, the fucking cheese did it. Poor Henry, man. Poor Henry. But no, that was hilarious. The provolone cheese was fucking gold. Yeah, get your provolone from home. And before we went back and rewatched the scene during the first time, the idea that he might have even pulled it out of his pocket, just completely unwrapped, that was just even fucking better.
And there with his keys, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go visit Dad, but before, let me throw a square of provolone in my pocket."
God.
I mean, the way that Henry looks at it. Next time you watch it, when you rewatch it, guys, just look at Henry's face, okay? Because Henry is looking at him, open his burger, put the provolone, tap that burger, and he's like, are you serious right now?
He pats on it a little bit. He puts the provolone cheese on, fixes the bun a little bit, and gives it a little tap before he moves his hand away.
He's like, there. There,
Like,
there. This
there.
is perfect.
You got your provolone. All right, here it is.
There, that.
Here we go. All right.
I'm not alone. I'm here.
Yeah, okay. I have a family, one that misses you very much. And if what the doctor is saying is true and you just let go of that version of me, then you get to come back to us. Isn't that what you want?
Might be
Well,
before
of
this.
course.
Might be a little before this.
It's not me.
Yeah, the cheese is there. I could see it. So it's before.
Broken boy.
And that's true. The cheese is not even melted on the burger.
Not
it's
even
just
melted.
straight up cold from the fridge.
Cold ass cheese.
What she said about the anchor that's keeping you there.
That was before. Look, the cheese is there.
Yeah, it's still there. Yeah, I'm rewinding it a bit. Just takes a little time. Oh, there it is. Still there.
About what Dr. Boyd.
Oh, there.
All right, here we go. I think this is
You
it.
could see the package right
There
there
it
in the
is.
corner. You could see the
There it
little
is.
plastic package.
Yeah, he just
brought some.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
What? Dad. I got your favorite. I brought some provolone cheese from home.
Watch. Puts it on.
Look at Henry's face.
Like,
He's do you see? He makes that like what the Oh.
And even Henry pats it a little bit. Like as soon as Victor's
Yeah.
done, like Henry.
Like, give me the provolone. Give me the provolone. Give me that provolone.
Provolone, the Henry spinoff. I fucking love it. No more Mr. Nice Ride. That is fucking gold. That is the best prequel idea, spinoff idea that I have heard yet, my friend.
Because he was alone. I mean, there are layers to what
There's
he said.
layers there. That's why he's
Because he was all
highlighting
alone
me
in his
alone.
house after
Yeah.
his family went missing, and everybody blamed him. And all he had to rely on, you don't know how deep this goes. Maybe all he had to rely on was the beer and the provolone. Maybe he was
Oh,
too drunk
God.
sometimes. He couldn't even make food, but he had the provolone. We don't know his attachment. We do not know his attachment.
We don't. Yeah, this was the mistake. Henry's allergic to provolone in real life.
That's how he's gonna uncover the meningitis.
Oh shit. You guys are fucking great. Absolutely hilarious. Man. And again, the fucking memes that have come out of season 4 have been so fucking good. Victor molesting her.
I'm dying, dude.
Oh my god.
He does eat a fry though. He does eat a fry. There's a fry that he takes it, he eats it. He didn't take a bite. I feel like all of us were just watching, like, come on, take a bite. Take a bite. We know that they don't have food in there. And he did it.
Oh fuck. Oh, you guys are cooked. We're all cooked and I fucking love it. It's great. Ah, fuck. Wow. Awesome stuff, guys. Awesome stuff. But yeah, here we are, folks. We are approaching the end of season 4. We got one final episode left, and I cannot wait to see what we are going to get next. I have to imagine we'll at least get one more good, at least one memeable moment in the finale. At least one we'll fucking get. If nothing else, if it's only the fucking Sophia thing, we'll at least get one.
Oh, that was bad.
Oh, that was so bad. This Greek says it would be wild if that's how Henry figures it out. He's severely lactose intolerant and avoids dairy like the plague. Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, it would have a very cosmic irony to it for sure. Yeah, the provolone is the
The provolone is the anchor. Dude, the provolone is the bookmark that Julie has been looking.
Oh, God. Oh, fuck.
The bookmark is the provolone. But can you imagine? Like, he is there at the colony house trying to figure this out, and all he hears in the distance, provolone. Provolone.
Oh, fuck. Oh my god. Oh shit. I gotta say, the discussions this season have probably been some of the funnest. Like, regardless of how how season 4 is gone, these discussions have been some of the fucking funnest this season. Thanks to you fucking people in the chat. You guys are fucking hilarious. Yeah, we need some t-shirts made.
Yeah, the provolone. The provolone is the anchor.
Oh yeah, boy in white creeping in the corner because he wants a piece of cheese too. Oh yeah, we just see him in the background. We pop up, we see the boy in white just creeping in the back fucking window.
I
Right here.
know. He's gotten real creepy. As he's gotten older, he's gotten real creepy. He's hiding in the bushes. I'm still dying over what one of you guys said. He was like hiding in the bushes, and I was questioning, like, do they think he looks small? Because they put him there in the bushes because he still looks hella big.
You're gonna make him look smaller, yeah. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
it's
He's a
not
grown man
it's not
now.
helping you guys. He's in the bushes now. He looks creepy, and somebody said he better be careful. He's old enough to catch a charge for creepy.
He's old enough to get a charge now, yeah.
for being
Boy in white's gonna catch a fucking case.
for being a peeping
fuck.
boy in white. I love how
my sides
Victor
hurt.
too.
Fuck,
Victor
my
was like,
sides
"Get away from
hurt.
here. This is private. This is private." Like, he picks the worst moment. It's like, dude, have
Worst
some
moment.
tact. Have some
Have a
class.
little bit of fucking dignity. Come on, like he's having a very tender moment here with his deceased relatives, and you choose now to pop your fucking little ass up with your deep ass voice. Victor, do you know what they're doing? Yeah, slice of provolone. It's the golem.
You have to put it in
Honestly,
its
that
mouth.
would be hilarious because that is the lore behind the golem. You got to write a divine word from the Hebrew Bible on a piece of paper, fold it up, and put it in the golem's mouth. But maybe on Frumville, all you got to do is shove a piece of fucking provolone in his mouth. That'll do it.
Oh my god. And yeah, why is Patty cooking without a face mask? Like,
Oh
you
god.
know, but
Yeah.
Henry was acting like he was too good for the cookies too. I wouldn't grab the cookies. They were all burnt, you know? They were all burnt like her face. But as soon as she leaves, he's like, I'm too good for those cookies. As soon as she leaves, he goes over, he grabs one. He starts eating it. Apparently not, Henry. Apparently you're not too good for the burnt cookies.
Yeah, and I believe it was Ramsey who brought up the catch and charge joke the other night. Yeah, hey, belly laughs are the great. I mean, every once in a while, humans just need to laugh. I really do feel like sometimes laughter is the best medicine at times. Not just physically, but, mentally for your soul. Like, the soul needs to laugh every once in a while and have fun every once in a while. I really do feel like it's very conducive into keeping people calm and sane. So yeah, I love having a good laugh like this, especially
Oh
when
my god, yeah.
it feels like I'm going to break a fucking rib.
It's so fun. I always have so much fun. Jeremy's my best friend, and we laugh like this like
Oh my
all
god.
the time. But you
Love it.
guys literally outdo us. I mean, look at this. You know how Boy and White is like, he's in the bushes. He's like, Victor, do you know what they're doing? You need to go over there and stop them, right? It's important. He didn't even give him a stick
Doesn't even give him a damn stick.
to do something, to defend himself. And then he gets arrested. And of course, it's like, dude, Boy and White, you're everywhere and nowhere. When he gets arrested, that's when you need to show up in the bushes and
No.
be like, hey.
I love that. I love how when Victor gets arrested, the Boy in White just fucking darts. He's fucking gone. As soon as he sees sirens, as soon as he sees the cuffs come out, the Boy in fucking White is gone. He's off that. Fuck that. I ain't getting caught up too. Just fucking totally
Getting
just left Victor. Just left his ass.
He's not right and die. He's not right and die. I'm not. He's like, I'm not gonna catch a charge.
I'm not gonna get the charge over your ass, Victor. I tried to help you. You're on your own now, pal.
Oh my god, I'm dying.
Oh fuck. Oh my god. You guys are great. You guys are fucking hilarious. But no, we love having fun with the show. I mean, we love getting serious with it and diving into the serious aspects and dissecting the show and doing all of that. But it's also good to just have some fun every once in a while, not take it too seriously, have a good laugh. We try to always bring a little bit of comedy to the streams that we do. And you guys are a huge part of that because the stuff you guys fucking say are what fuels it most of the time. You guys are fucking hilarious. So yeah, we love the comedy aspect that we try to bring to the streams.
Look at this. The boy in white doesn't show himself to because because he knows he's gonna go.
Yo.
That's why. You know how Boyd is like, why doesn't he walk in here?
Fuck.
Why doesn't he walk in here and tell us himself? This
Oh
is
my
why.
God.
This is why.
This is why.
Because he
doesn't like
knows
it.
that Boyd. Can you imagine? Boy in white inside the cell.
Fuck.
He's like, dude, I'm a magical entity.
Boy might go straight to the box if Boyd got him.
That's why.
Straight
That's
to
why.
the fucking
Hey,
box.
I was blaming him, like, dude, why are you not going to the
Oh my
leader? But
God.
it makes perfect sense. I'm telling you, it makes
It
perfect
fits. It fits.
sense. Oh my God.
Oh fuck.
This is the friend, dude. Boy in white said, Victor, you're on your own because I got.
Victor, I got open cases, bud. You're on your own. Why do you think I'm popping up in these fucking bushes to begin with, asshole?
Oh,
fuck.
That's why
Oh
he's
my
in
God.
the bushes. He doesn't want to get too
Oh,
involved.
fuck.
Oh my God. Oh, you guys are crazy.
Yeah. He might already got 2 felonies on his record.
He's like, can't get a third,
Oh,
Victor.
fuck.
Oh my
He can't
God.
he can't get that third strike. He
I
is trying
can't
to
get a
avoid
third
that third
strike, Victor. Just go over there and just tell
Oh,
them what
fuck.
I said. Go over there and say what I said, girl. Like, oh, poor Victor. And
Oh
Victor,
my
I love that he
God.
doesn't even think about it. He's not
Yeah,
even
he's
like, dude,
actually gonna
this guy's gonna get me in trouble. No, he just full on goes. He's like, okay, sure.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my God. He's actually in jail because of that
Got a
jumpsuit
jail
he has
jumpsuit
on.
on. One of those old ones from like the 50s.
He's wearing
Oh,
those
fuck.
socks, those socks up to his ankles. Those
Mhm.
long white socks. Oh my God, I can't.
Didn't even give Victor a talking point. Yeah. And yeah, why have we not seen the dogs anymore? Yeah, we haven't seen much dog action. That's for sure. I know at the beginning of the season, before it started, some of us were wondering if the dog was going to be in the sack. We saw that, that was going to be an animal hanging from the motel sign, but it looked like it was all goats in there. I didn't actually see the dog. So yeah, where the fuck's the dog hiding at? Maybe we'll see the dog in the finale. I don't know. Man, who's the warden?
Do this one with the boy in white voice.
Do you know what you're doing there, Victor? They're eating all the provolone.
You already know your
You
dad
gotta
has the
fucking
other
stop
son that
them,
has the
Victor.
provolone. You need to help yourself.
All that provolone.
Oh.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, Wayne White is just ready to be 18 to get his inheritance to get the fuck out of there. He's
He
so
does
over
look
it.
country club, right?
He's
He
so
does
over
look real country club, like golfing,
Oh, man.
Summers and Aspen.
Yeah, maybe the faraway trees of the Wayne White's washing machine.
He
That's
throws
why
his
he's
laundry
so
through there.
fresh.
He
Throws
takes
in
it out.
one and
throws-
pops out the other clean.
That's why he's in the bushes. He's like,
Just like Victor
takes
drops
a
the
little
rock.
while.
Just like Victor drops the rock in the faraway tree at the beginning of the
Yeah.
show to show Ethan.
Yeah.
That's how the man in white gets his clothes clean. He drops it in and he fucking catches it.
Oh my god.
Fuck. You guys are fucking great. I have been hearing this rumor that episode 10 is an hour and a half long. I'm not 100% sure if that is true. I'm hearing that episode 10 is going to be around 74 minutes long. But I could be wrong. Yeah, if we get an hour and a half for the final episode, that would be fucking awesome. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Yeah. Oh my god, he was in the bushes. He just got dressed. Yeah, I mean, again, he just got dressed. He doesn't want to creep too close to the town because he's got some felonies. Victor's getting ready to get arrested. He's creeping in the bushes so Boyd doesn't see him. It's you guys are cooked. You guys are the fucking best. Oh man. Wow. I feel like I gotta catch my breath. My fucking sides are on fire.
Poor boy in white. He's like, I just showed up here, just like the burger. It's like I'm just a burger. I'm just a prop sitting here doing my job, being a burger. The boy in white is getting roasted every single show we do. He's hilarious.
And PM and I even talked a little bit about doing something like this at some point in the future, where we do like a Fromville, the roast of stream, where we pick a certain character and we just that stream will be dedicated to the roast of this character, because I feel like there's so many good fun ways that you can roast a lot of these characters in a fun manner, not in a malicious manner like we're doing here with the whole Boy in White. And that's kind of what we just did. This kind of was the roast of the Boy in White.
The roast of Boy in White. Yeah, and we could make like a thumbnail that's just like those roasted. Yeah. The roast stuff. We put them sitting in a little chair. The roast of Henry. We should start with Henry, dude.
We can do the roast of Henry. We can do the roast of Victor. We can do the roast of Ethan. The roast of Ellis. The roast of Ellis would be a fucking good one.
Yeah. I love Ellis. Like, honestly, he grew on me. And I'll tell you why. Last time when he was talking to his dad and he was super serious, and it was a very serious moment.
Great scene.
And he's like, Dad,
yeah,
he grew on me. I really do like him. Like, he grew on me because he's like, hey, Dad, you can't go out there. You're shaking. You're old. You can't do this, Dad. That was very emotional. And then he says, Kenny's gonna do it. It was like, what are you doing, Ellis? What are you doing? I already talked it over, and Kenny will do this for you. It's like, oh my God, Ellis, I literally was hanging on your every word. I thought you were about to say, it's gonna be me, Dad. I'm gonna go out there.
Me too. I thought he was going to step up in that moment, because we actually get one really good scene between Ellis and Boyd at the beginning of the season. I believe it's episode 1, when Boyd is upstairs and they're all upstairs in Colony House, and Boyd is like really at the edge of his rope, and Ellis kind of sends everybody out of the room. He tells everybody, get out. And he has this one-on-one with his dad, and for the first time you see Ellis stepping into that adult role, that adult kind of role where Boyd can lean on him for a change, stepping into Boyd's shoes for the first time, it kind of felt like. So yeah, Ellis had a few good scenes this season, I feel. Start off with Elgin, because what the fuck.
Yeah, we'll roast Elgin first.
Elgin,
because I mean, Sophia's not gonna let that man live. He is dangerously stupid. Even for an evil entity, it's like, you know what? You are dangerously stupid. If I tell you to do something, you're probably going to do it wrong, just like Kimono Lady. So, no, I'm not going to let you live. But yeah, we should definitely start with Elgin. He would be a great one.
Maybe.
But I love that Ellis was like, no, Dad, you can't do this. Kenny will do it. I was like, did you ask Kenny? Because I wasn't paying attention. Did you ask Kenny if you wanted to?
Good stuff. Yeah, they had to beg Ellis in the beginning to help the Matthews family. Yeah, he didn't even really want to get in the truck at first. So yeah. Ellis will be finishing off the burger himself. Maybe. Good stuff. Absolutely good stuff. Ooh, now this is interesting. I feel like Ellis was setting Kenny up to die. Ellis was sus to me. Ooh, interesting, Blitzkrieg. I mean, let's unpack this a little bit for a minute. I mean, I could maybe potentially see some animosity or some jealousy maybe developing between Ellis and how he views the relationship that Kenny and Boyd have. Kenny and Boyd have the perfect father-son relationship, like absolutely fucking perfect. That's why I always kind of call Kenny the better son. But no, I mean, I think that's an interesting kind of point of view. I mean, I don't think it's the case, but I think it's a very interesting point of view, if nothing else, that maybe Ellis does kind of hold some animosity towards Kenny, seeing the relationship he has with his father. That's an interesting theory, Blitzkrieg.
I like it. I like it because guess what? You have evidence for this theory. I think that you could support this with evidence. When we met Kenny and Ellis, they were tasked with burying bodies or something like that, right? Which is when we get to see the relationship.
Checking the traps in the woods.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. And we get to see a little bit of their relationship. Kenny cannot stand Ellis. Like he just can't stand him. And he tries his best not to say anything, but then it gets to the point where Ellis is doing nothing and Kenny's doing all the work. So he's like, hey, can you stop picking flowers and help me? Like he cannot stand him. He thinks that he's lazy. Like that's just straight up the truth. And when there was the blood exchange, remember? That Boyd was super worried about doing the my blood is your blood because I have worms and Ellis needs a blood transfusion. Kenny didn't do it because of Ellis. He never said, Ellis, I got you. Ellis, I want to do this for you. Ellis, you can't die. He did it because of Boyd.
Yeah.
He was like, I could do this.
100%.
He stepped up for Boyd. They have the perfect relationship where it really is not just a father-son relationship, but a friend.
But a friend.
Kenny is a friend and a son to Boyd. So I could definitely see if you're his actual son, you see that dynamic. You see that Kenny is everything that you aren't, and he's closer to your dad than you because you don't have that much in common. Then yeah, I could definitely see how you would grow to be jealous, you know? But I wanted to show you something, Jeremy. I'm telling you, they have the best theories here in the chat.
Oh yeah, the fucking best. Absolutely the best. I like the big buns, and I cannot lie.
I love how serious you read that. But that goes with the burger. I like big buns, and I cannot lie.
That's burger lore right there.
That's burger lore.
We're creating the mythology in real time. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Remember when Kenny was trying to hurry with his work and Ellis was busy picking flowers? Yeah, I believe that's the scene that PM was referring to. Yeah, they're out there. They're working. They're trying to check all the traps after the storm, and yeah, Ellis is just over there picking fucking flowers. Absolutely useless.
I mean, okay, I don't want to trash Ellis too much. He's the only one that had a girlfriend. Like he had a full-on girlfriend that was they had an open relationship, because remember they kind of did away with that storyline and they became a very conservative couple to the point where they got married and had a baby and no more open relationship.
We never saw that woman again. Like I always thought that was very interesting. We saw that, that open relationship thing that you speak of, and then poof, never saw her again.
Never saw that again. So when you think about it, Kenny's going through hell over here trying to talk to Christy. Christy just kind of, I don't know. She's like participating in it, but she's also being super weird. And he has a full-on girlfriend. He lives in Colony House. He's getting high and has his girl there. So I could definitely see why he's like, whatever, you do the work. I'm going to pick my flowers. And Kenny is, he's a little stressed. He's a little bitter. I could see that.
Definitely. I could totally see that easily in a heartbeat. I also like this. I think this is an interesting, take on it as well, as Blitzkrieg brings up here. Think about the writing. Ellis would have been better suited in that scene with Fatima saving him, in terms of Ellis being the one going out instead of Kenny. Ellis was spending more time courting Fatima. Like it was super important that they got married. I could totally see, and not like PM was saying as well, it would have been a very nice moment for Ellis to finally really step up. Not just step up and get your father out of it so you can send Kenny in to do it. No, step up and have your father do it so you can step up, so you can take your father's place. I think that could have been maybe even a more compelling scene, maybe, if Ellis would have gone out there. And again, it would have given Ellis something to do, because I feel like Ellis doesn't really ever do too much like on the show in terms of like that kind of stuff. No, I think that could have been an interesting way to portray that scene, have Ellis go out instead of Kenny.
I mean, it's amazing. It's a great storyline, but could it have been better? It was right there. Just make that little change. It was right there. Instead of Kenny, put Ellis in. Now Boyd is worried. This is very
Even more,
difficult for the audience, right? Because we never see Ellis be good at anything. So we're gonna be like, oh my God, he's gonna fuck this up. So now it becomes interesting. And Fatima saving him makes a lot more sense. It's more emotional. Just like with the picture. Instead of giving it to Elgin, dummy Elgin, ding dong,
Oh my
give it to
God.
Acosta.
The
Acosta,
fuck?
they literally told Acosta, you need to go through everything. She took down notes. She's been super helpful, right? They have this whole conversation with Boyd and then throw it away because it's going to be Elgin who finds this.
Okay, yeah. And Katrina Marie brings up a possibility as well that Stacy could have been one of the casualties in the Colony House massacre that night. That's also very possible. The night of the Colony House massacre was Fatima's 1-year anniversary. All the craziness was going on. The party was going on. Yeah, I mean, maybe she was just one of the victims that night. That could be the easiest way to explain her absence for sure. But yeah, awesome stuff. Some stuff. Yeah, fucking Elgin though. God damn it, Elgin. Just, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? But yeah, here we go, folks. Here we go. The final episode is going to be approaching us. And yeah, I don't know. I can't believe it. Here it is. Season 4 is just about over. We got one finale to look forward to. Hopefully it's going to be a pretty long episode. Again, we are hearing rumors that the finale might be an hour and a half long up to. I haven't heard that confirmed anywhere, like officially. I heard something around the line, more along the lines of it being like 74 minutes long, but I have no idea. I don't have confirmation, so definitely don't take that to the bank. But if we're looking historically, From usually always has their finale episodes a little bit longer than every other episode. So I'm expecting the finale to be anywhere between 70 and 90 minutes. So we should get a nice long one. But yeah, there we go, folks. Episode 9 is in the books, and we'll continue to chop everything up, dissect everything up along the way. Again, this is our last kind of few days of From. So this will definitely not be the final stream that we do diving into episode 9, and we're going to be doing another one dissecting the episode 10 trailer. I'm working on my episode 10 trailer breakdown right now. I'm going to try and get that up on the channel tomorrow at some point, so be on the lookout for that as well. But yeah, here we go, folks. Heading into the final episode. Ellis has the survival skills of a grocery store shopping bag.
And I love you, Ramsey, but I'm gonna have to correct you here. Ellis has the survival skills of a slice of provolone cheese. Not the
provolone cheese.
Of a single slice of provolone cheese. He is just, he's artistic. He's artistic. He hasn't helped much. I just, I struggle with Ellis and what they're doing with his storyline. If something happens to Fatima, I know he's going to be like super brokenhearted. And I'm wondering when they say, you better have your tissues ready because it's going to be a very emotional finale.
Yeah.
Are we going to see the two lovers part ways because something bad happens to Fatima? Because if so, I'm not that invested in the relationship. So are they thinking maybe that we're going to be more emotional about that than we are? I mean, would you care if you see the two lovers part?
No. No, not really. I mean, I think out of all the storylines, I'm not like super invested in Fatima and Ellis's kind of love story. You always want to see kind of characters come out on top, but no, I don't think I'll be super devastated. They're not among my like favorite characters that I really don't want to see gone. But yeah, I don't know. I do at the very least hope that we have at least one major death. I feel like heading into season 4, they were dropping a lot of hints about this being, the darkest season yet, the scariest season yet, and all of that. And I feel like as of right now, we haven't really gotten all of that yet. We haven't gotten really a single major character death yet. So I have to imagine we're going to lose at least one major character in the finale. At least one.
They better just not touch Boyd. Take
Why not
anybody else
Boyd or
that you
Jade?
want. Leave my Boyd alone. He's been through too much.
Yeah, Boyd and Jade are off limits, hopefully. But yeah, we shall see. But that is going to do it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give a big thank you to everyone who came out and hung out with us tonight. And like I said, this is not going to be the final stream we do before the Saturday watch party. I know Raven and I are going to do one on Thursday night. PM and I will probably do another one between now and the Saturday pregame show. So we'll continue to break everything down as we head into the finale, because we really haven't even done a stream yet dissecting the episode 10 trailer. I will have my episode 10 trailer video up on the channel tomorrow, but we'll still do a stream breaking down the trailer at some point during the week. So yeah, here it is, folks. Approaching the final episode. Can't wait. Cannot wait to see how all of this craziness ends. Yeah, we should bring Henry. And of course, for those of you who are
Henny,
watching,
but Jeremy does not drink. Henny. See,
we
he
should bring
doesn't even
Henny.
know what
Yeah,
Henny
I am
is.
not a drinker myself, yes, but everybody is more than welcome to partake in anything they want to partake of. That is legal, of course. But yeah, absolutely. And we'll continue to do our watch parties. House of the Dragon is also starting right now. I know not everybody that watches From also watches House of the Dragon, but if you are among those few, definitely come and hang out with us every Sunday night. I will be doing House of the Dragon pregame shows right here on the channel, and after show breakdowns as well. So we will be diving into all things House of the Dragon Season 3 and all things from Season 5 after Season 4 ends. So we got plenty of stuff to still unpack and get into. But yeah, gotta bring some provolone.
Yes, exactly. For those of you that like Tatted DC, bring your Henny, and all of you that don't drink, bring your provolone. Stop by mom's house and bring it from home. It has to be from home because it's more special. Get your slices of provolone and come here with us. I'll have, you know what? I'm going to go to a grocery store. I'm going to get some.
I think I have some. I think I have some provolone cheese lying around. Again, there's always provolone
Lying
cheese
around?
in the house. I'm Italian. We're never without provolone.
Why is it lying around, Jeremy? Are you like Victor, just like
It's right in my pocket. I walk
naked
by, it's
little
literally on my
slice of
person at all
provolone?
Some people wake up and they grab their phone and their wallet and everything, and they walk out their door, their keys. Me, I wake up and I grab a pack of provolone cheese and I throw it in my back pocket. It is life.
Oh my God.
But yes, awesome stuff, guys. A big thank you to all of you for hanging out with us tonight. You guys were fucking hilarious tonight. I always love when we dive into the kind of roasting comedy aspects of From, because we always do it lightheartedly, and that's what's fun about it. Diving into some of this craziness, roasting some of this craziness, and we will continue to do all of that and more as we wait for the finale. But big thank you to each and every. Yeah, they've got dragons, but do they have provolone cheese? Very true. House of the Dragon might have dragons, but they do not have provolone cheese.
Gently, don't forget the last part. That's my favorite. Gently massaged into a burger.
Gently massaged onto the burger.
They don't.
Yes, different moves. This is very true. Very good point. House of the Dragon does not have that. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. All right, that is going to do it for us tonight, ladies and gents. If you guys have not already subscribed to PM Philosophy's channel, get over there, give her a sub as well. The link to her channel is in the description of this stream. You can catch Ravener and I Thursday night. We'll be doing another deep dive into From, and I think hopefully, I'm sure PM won't mind, but maybe we can do one more before we get to the Saturday night watch party, one more stream where we can actually dive into the episode 10 trailer. So there'll be a couple more From streams this week. I'm probably going to slide one more provolone cheese House of the Dragon stream in there some point during the week as well. So yeah, we got some awesome stuff to look forward to as we approach the season 4 finale of From and the beginning of House of the Dragon season 3. And of course, Silo's right around the corner as well. I know a lot of people have been wondering if I'm going to be covering some Silo on the channel. Yes, I will be. I'll definitely be doing at least some video breakdowns on Silo when season 3 starts. But yeah, big thank you to each and every one of you for hanging out with us this evening. And yeah, there we go, PM. We're heading into the finale. Here it is.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do that, Jeremy. Doing another show would be very tough for me. But I guess I could do it for a slice of provolone.
First,
for a burger with provolone, I'll do it.
If it takes a burger with provolone cheese, I will personally DoorDash it to your house. Absolutely.
Perfect. Then I'm in. I'll do
Love it. Love it. What time is it over there, Jeremy and PM? Over here, Belgium, 7:10 a.m. Well, what is up, Dieter? Always good to see you, my friend. I know you're in a different time zone, and I know it's much different. So anytime you pop in, I'm super grateful, my friend, because I know it's not always the most convenient time for you. And I have been definitely planning to do some earlier streams, and maybe the second one PM and I do this week. We can do that. Maybe we'll do a little bit of an earlier stream because I've been getting a lot of comments from people that are overseas, that are 6 hours ahead of us, that want to join the live streams, but sometimes it's a little bit too late. So yeah, maybe I'm going to do, not maybe, I will. I'll find a day and I will do an earlier stream this week where we can do one maybe during the day, a couple hours earlier. But right here, right now, it is 1:12 a.m. over on the East Coast. So 1:12 a.m.
Crazy. You're pushing it, Jeremy. Now you want me to do the show early? It's gonna be 2 slices of provolone.
Two slices of provolone. You got it. I'll tell you what. I'll make it 3 for good measure. How's that?
I want it to be from home, though.
Straight up from home. Straight up from home. Okay. We've got some people. We got Dark Burr is in the Dominican Republic, 2 a.m. there. Yeah, again, that's one thing I'm always just super fascinated to see where people are tuning in from, not just all over the country, but all over the world. It seems like From has spread to so many corners of the globe. And now that Netflix is acquiring the licensing rights to play some of the earlier seasons, I imagine that's only going to continue to grow. From really has become a worldwide show, and that is awesome. That is really awesome to see. But yeah, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff, ladies and gents. But that is going to do it for us tonight. I want to give another big thank you to each and every one of you. And of course, a huge thank you to all of the channel members and everyone that sent in super chats tonight. Huge thank you. Thank you, West of Westeros. Thank you. No more Mr. Nice Rye, Mick Light, Dark Lake, Kat Harlem, Katrina Marie, each and every one of you. Thank you all. Very much appreciate it. And we will see each and every one of you on the next one. Cheers.
Okay, ding dongs. If you don't subscribe to Jeremy Ice and Fire, you're gonna spend the night in the box.
Aren't Cooey